Phoenix Rising on the road, at home rather, against El Paso Locomotive. It's the USL Championship Match Week 20 $20 beer nights, first responders night. We kicked off the evening with a contest of the ages, really, a police and fire game. This is the Rising Radio pregame show, folks. So we will see you in a couple of minutes for the live broadcast tonight on Facebook, Twitter, and Sirius XM channel 157 tonight. Ryan Sikora with Ryan Myers. Myers, it's a big one tonight for a Phoenix team that are on a slide.
Yeah, it really is, Ryan. They've really struggled as of late in their last couple of match weeks. No wins in 4 match days, and it's one of those situations now where there's a lot of struggle with different teams, different players, different aspects of this Phoenix Rising squad. They have not played the way they've wanted to lately. Obviously, Danny Stone has now been let go as manager of the squad as well, which creates a lot of tension, a lot of drama, a lot of disfortune amongst the team, but they got a chance to get back on track now against an El Paso team that's really struggled the entire season, really being one of the worst teams in the USL Championship.
And it is 3 points a must, right, Ryan Myers? I mean, this is a Phoenix side that haven't won in 4 match days. Their last win was a 2-1 win at home against Orange County. It's been a real rough run for Phoenix over the course of this time.
Yeah, it has. They have not done a good job for El Paso on their perspective since they last played a few weeks ago in the beginning of June. It's been 3 straight losses for Locomotive, a team that's only scored 1 goal in the last 270 minutes of play. Rising have a chance now to go into a game where they can get some stability, they can grow into their own under this new age of Phoenix Rising with the interim head coach, with the end of the season coming up and having to try to make that playoff push. It's a big time for Rising to get on track. This is the game that they have to do it. 3 points is a must.
And Phoenix brings fresh blood into the mix. They signed Charlie Dennis and Damian Barker-John over the course of this last week. Dennis signed on Wednesday from Tampa Bay Rowdies.
Yeah, a couple of really advanced signings. You have a midfielder in Dennis who can play as a number 8. He can play as a number 10. He can play out wide if need be. He's a creative player. He's technically brilliant. And then you bring in another player as well off the wing, the teenager who's on loan from Royal Monarchs. He's a great winger. He's quick, can be a kind of Erickson Gallardo replacement in terms of his ability to stretch the defense long. So a couple of positive signings for Phoenix Rising that could add more goals to the tally.
Dennis, a 2023 All-League selection a year ago with Tampa Bay, 11 goals, 3 assists. Barker-John played in 21 and 22 with Diego Gomez at Queensboro FC in the lower levels of the American. Ryan has really struggled, very frustrated out of the gates halfway through the season.
Exactly. A lot of empty possession has crossed this Phoenix Rising team a lot this season. We see it time and time again. This team is first in the USL Championship in passes completed, yet they're just 19th in goals scored. Against San Antonio last week in a 2-1 loss, 56% possession, but just 1 big chance created. Tonight, Rising have to play with more desire. They have to bring something that they've lacked all season long, which is penetration going forward. They've had the same midfield duo in the middle of the park in back-to-back matches just once since May. The instability with this team, the inability to create chances consistently has been a key problem for Phoenix all year. And Ryan, I'll throw a stat at you that we talked about earlier before the pregame. In 2023, Carlos Harvey, one of the best attacking midfielders for this Phoenix Rising team in last year's playoff push, had 28% of his passes in the entire season were forward. This season in 2024, the midfield 4 of Dorotioto, JP Skiers, Renzo Zambrano, and Jose Andres Hernandez collectively, only 23% of their passes are forward. And this is a team that needs to do a better job of kind of playing forward, moving past their opponent, and really putting pressure on a defense.
It's quite literally potentially a gaping hole in this Rising setup that they do hope Charlie Dennis can possibly fill. The other thing for Rising, set pieces. Second worst set piece team in the USL Championship this year, both defensively and offensive and defensive difference. The only team that's worse, dead last on 8 points, Miami. That's a bleak statistic if you're Phoenix.
It really is. And a team that has so many athletic players that could be dangerous on set pieces. You see guys like Darius Romella, a lot of the defensive players like Potmore Boy, Mohamed Traore, despite being out of the lineup today. John Stenberg, who scored from a set piece earlier this season. They need to do a better job of getting those good deliveries into the box, maybe having a little bit more of a scheme going into what they want to do on corners, on free kicks, on those situations to try to get goals. It's a very important aspect of the game, especially especially in a division like the USL Championship where mistakes and miscommunication are so common an occurrence. To have a team that can take set pieces, that can attack set pieces and make you pay when you give up set pieces in dangerous areas of the park.
Well, kickoff coming up after this. Phoenix and El Paso on a Friday night in the USL Championship. We'll be back after a quick message from our sponsors. You're listening to Rising Radio, home of the 2023 USL Champions.
Red smoke. Phoenix Rising, our home. Welcome to 38th and Washington.
Stick around for more as our broadcast continues.
The Supplemental Security Income Program provides monthly payments to help meet basic needs, like putting food on the table, paying the rent, or buying new shoes for growing feet. You may qualify if your income and financial resources are low, and you are 65 or older, or an adult or child with a disability or who is blind. Call 1-800-772-1213 or go to ssa.gov/SSI to start to apply. Produced by Social Security at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Hello?
Man, where are you? I thought you were coming.
I can't. I'm in bed with the flu.
The flu? Whoa. Grandma's about to crowd surf. Man, I'll call you back.
Don't get stuck at home with the flu. A flu shot is safe, effective, and you can get it at the same time as your COVID-19 vaccine. A flu shot is the best way to prevent the flu and its potentially serious complications. Don't get flu FOMO. Learn more at getmyflushot.org.
Brought to you by the AMA, CDC, and the Ad Council.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at smokeybear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state
social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
We're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're for nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. that struggle with hunger.
Childhood hunger is a heartbreaking reality that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and provides it to families and children in need.
You can help kids in need in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hey, hon, what you doing with your phone? Taking pictures?
No, I'm asking it questions.
Like what?
Hey, Bobo, do flowers have best friends?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, follow me. I want to show you something. Look, flowers do have best friends.
Whoa.
Some answers can only be found in nature. Discover the unsearchable. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a trail near you. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
I'm just texting him back.
I'm just posting a story.
I'm just changing the song.
I'm just... No. When it comes to distracted driving, just don't. Sending a text takes your eyes off the road for just 5 seconds, but in that time, your car can travel the length of an entire football field. Any distracted driving just isn't worth it.
Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Welcome to Rising Radio. Phoenix Rising in a bit of a slide, taking host to El Paso Locomotive, a dollar beer night, a Friday night, first responders night in Phoenix. Tonight it's on Rising Radio and Sirius XM, channel 157, as well as 88.7 FM the pulse. Ryan Sikora with Ryan Myers will be joined by Mahir Sinhasan in just a moment. But Myers, big opportunity tonight for Phoenix to take one step back towards the team we saw in 2023.
It is. It's a team that needs to show what they can still do with this season still being in the balance. 9th place in the Western Conference, but it's far from over. Plenty of time and lots of games left to play. This one, a reverse fixture of the last time out just over a month ago against El Paso, where this team really struggled in Phoenix Rising, was able to come away with the point, but not what they needed to do in order to get the 3 points against one of the worst teams in the Western Conference.
That 1-1 draw was salvaged by Panos Armenakis, who's not in the 18 today. We're joined now by Mahir Sinhasan, who's got more. The fans are feeling themselves in the South End tonight.
Yeah, they sure are, Ryan. It's been 27 days since the last home game that Phoenix Rising played here at 38th and Washington. A lot has happened, guys, especially with the firing of Danny Stone. Interim head coach Diego Gomez wants to try to quell the fans' anxiety, saying, quote, "It's a big moment. We need to show the fans that we care." And actually during pregame, he was looking right at them, overseeing the warm-ups. He knows what this game means tonight. For El Paso on the other side, they have 5 changes from their 2-0 loss to the Las Vegas Lights SC last Friday. The COVID bug affecting many players and coaches. So Wilmer Cabrera signed Ricky Ruiz and Robert Coronado, 2 guys that he worked with Rio Grande Valley FC, making the jump back to USL Championship from League One. He also signed a bunch of academy players this week as well.
Mahir, thank you. We'll keep an eye on that one in the Valley tonight. Moon is low, moon is full. Rising wreathed in red, El Paso colored in an all-white away strip. Starting 11s for both teams tonight. Phoenix in the patented 3-4-3, Rocco Rios Novo in net. A back three of Lawrence Wyke, Pop Marboy, and Alejandro Fuenmayor for back-to-back games, the 4th time this year. Azacar, Torres, Zambrano, Skierce, the midfield 4. Quaisho, Formella, Varela, the front 3. For El Paso, it's Jamali Waits with Ruiz, Yuma, Dolenmeyer, and Stauffer, the back 4. Wait in net. Petrovic, Rodriguez, Calvillo, Coronado, the new boy in the midfield. Armando Moreno and Joaquin Rivas lead the line. For Wilmer Cabrera, 2-4-1 in his tenure in El Chuco. For interim manager Diego Gomez, 0-1-0 after the loss 2 weeks ago in San Antonio. Phoenix will move right to left on your radio dial towards the north end to start this game. El Paso in the other direction. Your referee crew tonight is led by Elton Garcia, his 71st USL Championship game, his 7th Rising game. He gives out about 4 cards a contest. The rest of the crew is Matt Trotter, Christian Clare, and Mark Novosel is the 4th official. Friday, July 19th, Phoenix Rising haven't won in 4. El Paso Locomotive sit bottom of the Western Conference. The Star-Spangled Stadium, maybe 50 feet in its length. The wind rustles from west to east, across the near touchline to the far. A cloudless night, maybe a few, as the planes trot by in the distance, the airport to this beautiful stadium's south side. We've had a delay waiting for the official's decision. Jamali Waite, the goalkeeper for Locomotive, in all green. Rocco Rios Novo away from his customary light blue and wreathed in a black shirt, as we are off and running on Friday night. Another dollar beer night and another home game for Phoenix Rising to chase. El Paso go backwards to Noah Dolenmeyer, and it goes over on a long ball over the top beyond the touchline of Phoenix throw. 15 seconds in and establishing 15 minutes on the way, Ryan.
Yeah, a very big opening period of this match. We already see some of the ways these players are going to move this match. Emil Quaisho playing very deep to start off already in the system. We'll see how the team plays going forward.
Darius Formella tonight will lead the line for Phoenix Rising. Quaisho, you presume, is off the left, but he's started this game on the left side as it's a long ball over the top from White to Gabby Torres in the box. A touch, a parry. It's pushed away by Waite. It's squared away to Quaisho. And his shot goes over the bar from just inside the box. But Phoenix, less than a minute in, nearly flashed forward for an opening find.
Yeah, that's a wonderful ball over the top to find Gabby Torres running in behind. That's exactly what I wanted to get to in this pregame today, Ryan. The directness is something that El Paso have struggled with all year long, but especially in these last 2 games as well. If you run at them, if you make them defend, they'll struggle and they might crumble. This time it was early.
El Paso on the ball, center of the park, and now laid along for Ricky Ruiz, who was signed just a couple of days ago from League One Chattanooga Red Wolves. Ruiz, along with Steven Rivas and Robert Coronado, the 3 additions for Wilmer Cabrera here this season. All of them have ties to Cabrera. Ruiz, Coronado both spent time with the El Paso skipper when he was at RGV Toros last season and the year before that. Steven Rivas comes from Colombian 2nd Division side Real Cartagena, where Cabrera's son, Wilmer Jr., plays. Rivas not in the squad today. Ruiz and Coronado both start. Rising with the ball, near touchline, Gabby Torres, 10 paces off the midfield line, foraying forward, taken to ground, and an early whistle off the yellow shirt of Elton Garcia. Gabby Torres skipped beyond Lucas Stauffer and was taken to ground. A dangerous free kick for Phoenix coming from the near side, maybe 4 paces in, even with the top of the 18.
Yeah, that time, Ryan, we saw a situation of Gabby Torres having lots of space near the touchline, nobody going out to check him early, and then you have an attacker, Armando Moreno, not someone who's the best at getting stops and tackling opponents, who makes a rash challenge early, gives up a free kick in a relatively dangerous area now for Phoenix Rising.
Cuecho and Zambrano stand over the ball. Emi Cuecho's left foot, Renzo Zambrano his right. Phoenix's number 26, Zambrano, captain's armband on his left shoulder. One hand to the sky from Cuecho. His left-footed ball would skip away from the goalkeeper weight, an outswinger. Emi looks to serve. Everybody in the defensive line aligned at the top of the 18. A sea of white and red, and a whistle from Elton Garcia. Cuecho will lift one high towards the back post and wait. Goes up and grabs it, will roll out quickly. Armando Moreno on the far left side, drifting beyond Wyke and playing down the line for Petar Petrovic. Rios Novo's out of his goal. Petrovic a shot, and Rios Novo stuffed it from outside his own box with his feet. 3rd minute, almost danger for Rising.
Yeah, an assertive sweeper-keeper move there by Rios Novo, but stopped Petrovic in his tracks, was able to win that one out for a throw-in, but decent counterattack there if you're El Paso.
Still 0-0. First touches for the El Paso captain, Yuma Monsalves, and whipped into the middle of the park for Calvillo. Pushed wide for Lucas Stauffer, the right back on the right side, attacking half. Calvillo, right half space, a little bit deeper than that, maybe 10 paces off the midfield stripe. 2-man game between he and Coronado, and now the youngster Mario Rodriguez joins in. Has looked good his last couple of games in El Paso white and blue.
Yeah, he has. He was dangerous despite the loss against Las Vegas a week ago. He did a good job of creating chances and breaking down that Las Vegas defense.
Touch in the middle for Calvillo. Drives the ball through the sky from left to right. A good touch from Stauffer. Heels on the touchline, and back he goes for Yuma. Former Jacksonville Armada midfielder, now turned El Paso Locomotive center back. The oldest player in the USL Championship, Yuma Monsalves. Quite the ageless one at 38. Wide space, Dolenmeyer lays along, and now a perusing opportunity, an open space for Petrovic, one-on-one with Wyke. He turns towards goal, he's turned away by Lawrence Wyke. And it's pushed out of touch for a Rising throw, last touched off the foot of Petar Petrovic. Deep in the Rising half, 5th minute.
Decent stall of possession there from El Paso. Don't expect them to sit back despite their tough record thus far in the season. Last time out against Phoenix, they did a great job of creating chances, breaking down that Rising back line for the entirety of the match.
Phoenix finally throw it in. Feet of Juan Carlos Azacar, who's playing off the right today for Rising. He and Gabby Torres, the pair of wing backs in Diego Gomez's system. Azacar off the right, Torres on the left. They played together and from the start for just the 2nd time this season. Last time was the Open Cup match all the way back on May 8th against North Carolina. Cuecho dropping deep, a touch. Drives his way beyond one defender, lays along for Torres. Back to the feet of Emi Cuecho, level with the top of the 18. Now drifting towards the byline. Pushed off the ball by Stauffer, and he's fouled in the process. Right in the corner on the northwest near side. Gabby Torres and Emi Cuecho played a neat little 2-man game to get away, and Lucas Stauffer didn't like it. It's a dangerous free kick again for Phoenix.
Yeah, that's great composure there from Emi Cuecho in a tight area by the near corner flag just by us, Ryan. He did a good job of turning back on his side and then got fouled by Stauffer there, who was just a little bit too eager to win that ball back. This free kick almost taken like a corner from where it is on the pitch. It'd be an interesting one with just one man in the wall, the young man Rodriguez.
It'll be an in-swinger from Zambrano. 3 steps forward, he drives the ball in, headed away by the sizable frame of Noah Dolenmeyer, only as far as Emi Quaisho, who heads it back for Lawrence White, takes 1 touch and turns it towards Rocco Rios Nova, the rising goalkeeper. Dolenmeyer going to be tough to beat him. 6'5" in frame, the center back for Wilmer Cabrera's team.
Had a little bit of a wrestling match with Pop Marboy. At time, both of them ended up on the ground, but 2 strong athletic defenders who are going to go at it every set piece.
Phoenix set in a build-up shape, maybe 5 steps inside their own half. Alejandro Fuenmayor towards the near touchline. Left-footed ball for Gabby Torres. Takes a feint, turns backwards. JP Skeers checks the shoulder, driving forward, beats Moreno. Lays along Torres, left side still. 0-0, 7th minute. Marboy in the center circle. On his right, he roams forward, the Senegalese center back, and plays a forward pass that's cut off. Well dealt with by Robert Coronado. Space to drive forward for him. Lays it wide for Petrovic. Left side of the El Paso attack. Far side at 38th in Washington. Friday night, dollar beer night. 2nd straight home game. That is a dollar beer night for Phoenix. The 0-0 draw last time at home against Charleston Battery. Probably one of their more standout showings of the year. They would, of course, lose the ensuing game 5-1 to Memphis. Danny Stone would be moved on, and Diego Gomez has taken over for the next 2. Ball into the box from El Paso, cleared away from Zambrano. Touch for Darius Formella, who's been on an island so far, the forward for Phoenix. Back for Quaisho, very involved early on, is Rising's number 14, Ryan Myers.
Yeah, and he's been aggressive and assertive, exactly what I wanted to see from him on this left-hand side of the pitch. He's creating havoc early, and I need to see the same thing from Varela on the other side as well for Phoenix Rising.
Lawrence White with a touch, playing as the right side center back in this Phoenix back 3. It's Marboy through the middle, Fuenmayor through the left channel. Double pivot of Zambrano and Skeers. The front 3, Fede Varela, Darius Formella, and Emi Quaisho. Gabby Torres and Juan Azacar, the wingbacks. Torres a touch again, Rising heavy down the left side to start this game. Fede Varela getting involved, and Fuenmayor further backfield picks up the touch. 9th minute. Lawrence White in space, right side, right forward. He stumbles. The turf monster got him in the half space, and it's picked up by Armando Moreno. And now Moreno still inside the center circle. Back for Eric Calvillo. White pressures and forces El Paso to move backwards. Coronado, Dolenmeyer, and Jamali Waite in his own box. Plays a ball along the ground to the near right side for Stauffer. Waite has missed the last few, finally returned to the lineup. He was Jamaica's starting goalkeeper in the CONCACAF Gold Cup just last month. Jamaica didn't fare well out in the groups with 3 defeats. Waite goes long. It's a header from Marboy. It's only as far, though, as Joaquin Rivas, and Rivas takes a touch forward, is taken to ground. It's JP Skeers who gives him a nice, healthy bear hug in the attacking half, and El Paso have a free kick in the right half space in the 10th minute.
Yeah, at times Skeers having a little bit of a word with the official there, Elton Garcia in the middle of the park, but Garcia just telling him, nah, you cannot do that. Nonetheless, though, good start from Phoenix Rising, but El Paso doing what they have to do early.
Switch of play from Locomotive. Petrovic picks it up again, left side, and goes back for Dolenmeyer, the deepest of the defenders right now for Locomotive. El Paso all the way back now for Jamali Waite, right in the D outside his own 18. The goalkeeper, 4-5 touches before switching play for the right back, Stauffer. Defended by Quaisho. Into the path for Rivas, Joaquin Rivas and El Salvador International. Back for Stauffer, over the top for Armando Moreno, rather Robert Coronado! A shot that drifts just wide of the far post. He looked like he was offside. The flag stayed down from the near side AR1, Matt Trotter, and Phoenix are saved one. It is still 0-0 in the 11th minute.
That's a beautiful ball over the top by Lucas Stauffer there. You saw the interchange between the midfielders of one, Calvillo dropping in, checking the ball, and then Coronado making the run in behind, stretching that Rising defense. That time a great chance just wide of that left post, probably only a foot or so out from being in the back of the net, but good play there by Locomotive. Dangerous from the team. We did not expect to have those kind of quality going forward this early.
Phoenix plays short from the left side. It's one of those simple little moves you learn in U12s where it's play the ball forward, play the ball back, drive a defender in, and then kick it over the top. You're going to have a runner, and he's going to be free. Phoenix were caught out with the simplest of sequences from El Paso.
Teach it from U12 because it works. From young, got to know those kind of things early. At time, El Paso almost made them pay.
Sometimes simplicity the most effective way. Phoenix have had trouble with finding any way this year going forward. Fuenmayor to Gabby Torres. Took a skip off the ground. The ball did. Torres a poor touch. She has to go back for Fuenmayor. Well defended by Armando Moreno.
Ryan, they're allowing Gabby Torres to have so much space, Locomotive, on that side to get the ball to feet.
Over the top, Phoenix pick it up outside the 18. Azakar, a shoulder feint, and he's gone from right wing back to left attacking midfielder here. Combines with Gabby Torres. Torres, Quaisho, Torres, byline for Rising. Cut back for Azakar, a shot blocked by Dolenmeyer. Might have taken a touch off his hand. It did not. Fuenmayor scoops it high. Feet of Fede Varela. Ball in behind. No. It was claimed by Waite. Offside flag came up, but they'll play advantage. El Paso want to spring forward quickly. They could not. Rising win it back. Zambrano in the box for Formella. Chested down for Fede Varela. A shot. It goes in the back of the net. And the offside flag came up. It was one quickly played long ball from Renzo Zambrano. Chested down off the right pack of Darius Formella. Fede Varela took a touch and drove it well towards the near bottom corner, but it will not count. It is still 0-0. 13th minute, Darius Formella 2 steps too soon.
Yeah, very unlucky there for the number 29, Darius Formella. That was the right idea. A great run in behind, and then a very advanced, smart move to play it off his chest to find Fede Varela, who did a good job of taking a couple touches and finding the back of the net. You see the flares going up, but nonetheless, still 0-0. Unlucky, but good play there for Phoenix Rising.
South End premature with their pyrotechnics. It's been a busy night for them. A couple of tifos unveiled during the anthem, a couple of new banners in place, thanking former Rising manager Danny Stone for his service to the club, the many years he spent as an assistant with both Rick Schatz and Juan Guerra, and the brief tenure as the sole head coach of the Valley Club. 14th minute, Fuenmayor, a touch, and 2 or 3 more after that to drive forward into the attacking half. Feet of Quaisho, left it for Torres. Torres taken off the ball by Moreno, scooped up by Mario. By the club's coaching staff and playing staff. El Paso have won a corner kick. It will be taken an in-swinger from Moreno. It's lofted to the back post. It's claimed by Rios Novo. A quick rollout for Formella. Darius Formella took a touch. It was taken off of him, and he took one too many. It turns over the touch line for a Locomotive throw, it looks like.
And that's so unlucky as well, because that's a very dangerous pass from Rios Novo. The long arm shot to the halfway line that time. Unlucky, went out of play. Ryan, we're seeing an El Paso team that's playing a very progressive style of play, something I expected coming into this match, considering how last match's fixture went, when they created a few big chances, obviously got the goal early, and then were able to kind of rest on their woes for a minute. But I've been impressed by how both teams have been able to settle into their own going up early.
Phoenix on the ball, center circle with Fuenmayor. Rising, flowing forward now over the top for Azakar. Heads along for Formella. Darius.
See again how much space on this near-hand side Gabby Torres is getting. Staffers almost allowing him to get the ball. It's almost like they want Gabby Torres to be the one that finds the ball there, as him and Quaisho disconnect there on a potential 1-2.
It goes over for a goal kick. Jamali Waite will scoop up the ball. 17th minute, scoreless so far from 38th in Washington. Dollar Beer Night, First Responders Night for Phoenix Rising. One of the many theme nights of the year that we will carry on 88.7 FM The Pulse, KVIT, Chandler, Mesa, and Phoenix. Tonight also on Sirius XM channel 157. It's the game of the week in the USL Championship on this Friday night. Armando Moreno, a touch for El Paso. Turn backwards, and Mario Rodriguez with some space to roll forwards. If you're looking for a new set of wheels, you can shop for your next car the convenient way. 100% online with Carvana. 18th minute, Moreno, 1-on-2. He drives his way past a couple towards the byline. Armando Moreno, a shot. It's parried away by Rocco Rios Novo.
That's a beautiful strike from that angle, Ryan. No angle Moreno really had to try and find the back of the net. Wrapped his foot around the ball and lashed at it. Able to find the target, force a save from Rios Novo and win a corner. But that's that number 10. That's why he wears it on his back. That's a brilliant piece of play.
It's another corner kick for El Paso Locomotive. Near side, right flank for the away side.
Set piece is a big thing when you're on the road like this, Ryan. You can create a chance off of something like this that'll really put your team in a great position.
Especially against a Phoenix side that has struggled to defend them so far. Only one team has conceded more from dead ball scenarios than Phoenix Rising in 2024. That's Miami. It's an in-swinger from Moreno. They'll play short for Calvillo and back for Armando Moreno. Armando Moreno squares it. Something from the training ground for Petrovic. His shot is blocked away. Fuenmayor stepped way off the post to get a block. One back by Rising. Formella picks it up. He slips. And Yuma Monsalves comes sliding in to make a fair challenge. It is well done by the wily vet.
Formella really wanted a free kick there. But again, Elton Garcia was not having it that time. 50-50 and a lot of physical play from the center back along with the number 9.
El Paso on the ball. Early returns, 53% possession for Locomotive, Rising on 47. 2 shots for Phoenix, 3 for the visiting El Paso side. 0.2 XG for both. Rising slightly more accurate passers when they do have it. And they will scoop it up now at the feet of the all-black kid of Rocco Rios Novo, the goalkeeper for Phoenix. No Olympics for him. Argentina, his country, off to Paris in due time. Rocco played in the qualifiers with Argentina. Appeared on the bench a couple of times for Javier Mascherano's U23s. He does not make the trip to France. Marboy, center of the park. Number 4 whips it wide, right side Azakar, a 2-touch play, and turned backwards he is, in trouble. Trying to find Fede Varela, instead he'll keep it himself. Azakar trying to combine, Formella made a run in behind, didn't show feet. And it's cleared away by El Paso Locomotive, only as far as Rocco Rios Novo. Is Rising will reset possession with JP Skierce now once more.
I like to see the way Azakar is really being aggressive and assertive in all of his movements. Every time he's been on the ball so far, Ryan, he's been aggressive, trying to go forward, trying to create the pass and create something for his team early in this game. Hasn't quite worked out yet, but look, the way he's playing seems like it might just.
Ball in behind, Moreno led to chase. Armando Moreno got there in time, cuts back on his left at the byline, squares it to the 6. Left away Rivas, open space, couple of touches, Coronado cleared away by Phoenix. Maybe one too many touches from the new boy Robert Coronado. El Paso could have had another shot on goal. Instead, still 0-0, 21st minute. Quayshow for Phoenix, switches play left to right. Lawrence Wyke room to roam. Wyke looking for Azakar, cuts inside, stays on his feet. Lays along, well-defended Rodriguez. Now Zambrano, Emi Quayshow a touch, a shot blocked by Yuma. Out for a Phoenix corner. Rising countered quickly, slowed it down, and were rewarded with a shot, Ryan Myers.
Yeah, end-to-end stuff this time. Now we see Moreno going down, creating a chance for El Paso. Didn't quite come off, but then Phoenix Rising bolt down the other way. A little bit of play from Lawrence Wyke, finds its way to Emil Quayshow for a strike. Great job now to win a corner, a dangerous set piece potentially for Phoenix Rising as they're trying to get the fans into it on this north side of the pitch as well.
Maybe slightly above half capacity in this 10,000-seater in downtown Phoenix. 2 hands to the sky from the captain, Zambrano. Near touchline, right-footed in-swinger. He'll swing one towards the 6. It's pushed along for Pop Marboy, cleared away El Paso. Pop was free. El Paso got there first, only as far as Quayshow. Renzo's there. He rolls the ball backwards for Emi Quayshow. A touch off his left. Quayshow looking to tee up. He'll shoot with his right. It's blocked again. Coronado clears away. Puts Wyke under pressure. Well done from the rising Englishman. Still with Phoenix. Over the top they go. Azakar, 2-3 touches off his thigh. Pressured by 2 El Paso defenders. And cleared away, but Wyke scoops up again for the home side. Lawrence Wyke, defended by Petrovic. Wyke makes a run down the far side, even with the 18. Lays back for Renzo Zambrano. Center of the park is Renzo, and further back for Alejandro Fuenmayor. Phoenix reset. Ale angles his body the right direction and finds Fede Varela dropping deep. Fede, the flying Argentine. Now for Pop Marboy. Wyke, right side.
I want to see more Fede Varela in this attacking phase of play as well.
Driven in ball from Azakar towards the 6, claimed by Waite. He'll step up, 2-3 steps, rolls it out for Coronado. Quickly they go, El Paso. Joaquin Rivas, Armando Moreno. Wilmer Cabrera taking 5 paces towards the ball in his touchline area. The skipper for El Paso. Back for Lucas Stauffer. Cabrera, a longtime manager stateside, 111, 121, and 68 in his career as a manager. Spent multiple stints with RGV, a brief time with Houston Dynamo in MLS as well. He now leads an El Paso team that had title aspirations.
All playoff hopes as well, with 8 of the 12 teams making the postseason. A game like this could be a huge one for them if it goes their way.
Not too far away. They're on the ball now with Petrovic. A drive into the 6, and he squares the ball. It's collected by Rocco Rios Novo, and Phoenix will regain possession. Rios Novo will sit on it, stay on it, and soil over to figure out what he wants to do next. 24 minutes played in this one. No goals to show for either side. A couple of half chances to share.
You wonder in this heat how long this game could stay at a 0-0, considering the way the pitch is more dry, the ball's skipping, moving a little bit quicker, and along with the players just wearing out from this plus 100-degree heat, even though the sun has fallen.
Quaisho space, wide for Torres. Gabby on the left side, back for Alejandro Fuenmayor. Along with the dry surface, there's plenty of divots out there from the pregame festivities. They had a police versus fire match in the pregame. Lots of folks running around, causing chaos on the turf. So that's something the players may have to deal with as well. Azakar lays it back for Fede Varela, and further back for Lawrence Wyke. Right side, he lasers a ball on the ground for Fuenmayor, and now Gabby Torres. Space for him, even with the top of the 18. Gutting towards the byline is Gabby. Back post ball over the head of Zambrano in the box, and back for Lawrence Wyke. A touch from Wyke, drives the ball over the top, over the head of Fede Varela, and back to defend is Lucas Stauffer, who sees it out for a goal kick. It looked like Fede was in a good amount of space if that ball from Wyke was in the right angle.
Yeah, dangerous ball, though. And again, we're seeing the right ideas, though, from Phoenix Rising in this game. We talked a lot in the pregame, Ryan, about how this team needs to be more aggressive and assertive going forward. We're seeing that a lot from this back line, with players sending balls into the box, wanting to run at players and just create chances overall.
Ball in the middle, handball Armando Moreno. Armando went up to try and chest and corral the ball, but instead it strikes the upper edge of his arm. It's a free kick for Phoenix, attacking half left side.
See the young kid, Mario Rodriguez, having a word with Elton Garcia in the middle of the park as well. Maybe had a sly word or two from the youngster.
Maybe not the man to mess with, Elton Garcia, known as one of the more stern figures as championship referees come. He was the official for the final last year in Charleston, the head man for the 2023 USL Championship final. Phoenix winning that one on the road at Patriots Point. Rising trying to rekindle the fire that was in 2023. It's been a slow start, winless in their last 4 through the middle section of the season too. So all in all, that's why you see Phoenix Rising and all that hoopla around this club, down in 9th in the Western Conference, out of the playoff picture as it stands after 18 match days. A touch forward for Fede Varela, driving towards the baseline of the byline and taking off the ball. Well done from Noah Dolenmeyer on the far left side. El Paso win it back and try to play out of trouble. One back high though by Lawrence Wyke. Wyke down the right side, skips beyond one, can't get through Ricky Ruiz, and Locomotive have it again, defensive half. Calvillo outlives Rodriguez. Fuenmayor comes clattering through in the center circle. First name in the book tonight will be Alejandro Fuenmayor. 28th minute, 0-0. That's the Venezuelan's 7th of the year. It puts him 1 away from suspension.
Well, that's exactly what the young kid Mario Rodriguez can bring you. That time picked his head up, maybe a step late but saw Fuenmayor barreling at him. Quick drop of the shoulder to go around him, and he gets brought down to the middle of the park. Maybe had a number going forward to find Armando in a little bit of space, but nonetheless, good feet there by the young kid.
Drums hum from the south end. 28 minutes have come and gone. Yuma Monsalves on the ball, and switching play for Dolenmeyer, the center back partner for him tonight. El Paso, in their last 6, 1-4-1. They're searching for form as well under their new skipper. Driven ball over the top from the right foot of Moreno from the right side, headed away by Wyke. A touch off the chest of Azakar and back for Lawrence Wyke. Plenty of absences. Mahir touched on those earlier on in our broadcast. No Panos Armenakis in the squad. No John Stenberg, Remy Cabral, Mo Traore, the latter 3 due to injury. All of them missing out. Armenakis, an internal matter. El Paso, no Bolu Akinyode, no Tumi Moshabane, no Justin Dillon. Tony Alfaro misses out as well for Wilma Cabrera's men. They're suffering from COVID-19 outbreak in their camp. Over the top from Quayshow, headed away from Stauffer. Quayshow scoops it back up, center park. Back for Fede Varela, under pressure. Rodriguez very busy. Myers, you've talked about him plenty tonight. I think we've exhausted that subject, so we'll steer clear. Wyke over the top. Good run, continued by Zambrano, who gave it to Wyke, and well defended again by Dolenmeyer, who's had quite a start to this game. Cleared away from Locomotive. Half an hour come and gone from 38th in Washington.
Ryan, this is the time of every Phoenix Rising match that starts to worry me a little bit in the way that they're playing. It feels as though Rising never know where the next pass is going to be, and I feel like they've kind of gone back into that shell at this point in the match, looking up, trying to figure out where the options are, not quite finding the right one, and just trying to see if a square peg fits in a round hole.
Lawrence Wyke, right to left, a ball over the top for Gabby Torres, off his chest, he's onside, lifts the ball well into the sky. He overhit it by maybe 25 yards. He was 2 paces outside the 18. He crossed the ball, legitimately crossed the ball over the end line, or over the touchline on the far side before it landed. Not a peachy ball at all.
Nah, that one's a one. As soon as you make contact, you wish you could get that one right back, and he heard it. He felt it right away, apologized before that ball even landed, said, hey, my bad, guys. We'll get the next one. But Gabby Torres has been a busy boy in the start of this first half. He's had a lot of time and space on this near side. El Paso kind of giving him the opportunity to have the ball, seeing if hey, you want to cross it, beat us. And unfortunately, that's been the result.
Throw in deep in El Paso's half into Joaquin Rivas, chested back for Ricky Ruiz. El Paso solved the problem well, get into the middle of the park and switch play. Green grass, maybe 30 yards of space for Lucas Stauffer. Quickly closed down by Quayshow for Rising. El Paso on the ball, Calvillo, the vice captain tonight. And Stauffer settles in his right back spot. On the near touchline, he lifts the ball back for Dolenmeyer, touch off his left foot. And to the left side it goes for Ricky Ruiz, 27-year-old from Lake Elsinore, California. Arrived literally days ago from Chattanooga Red Wolves. Part of a 3-signing week for Locomotive. Busy as the transfer window begins. Over the top, Marboya header, Rising. Chance to regain possession through Lawrence Wyke, and he does. Wyke goes forward, then slips backwards and slides his way along towards the center of the park. Glides the ball on the grounds. Fuenmayor, Quayshow, dropping deeper. Both the number 10s for Rising. Quayshow and Varela playing towards the same side, this near left-hand side. That's something different than we've seen this year, Ryan Myers.
I wonder if just a lack of wanting to go down that left-hand side as well. Maybe it's because Emil Quayshow playing off that side is left-footed, than Varela on the right side being right-footed.
Outside the box for Zambrano, into the feet of Azakar, back for Fuenmayor, first-time ball, Gabby Torres, top of the 18, left side, back for Alejandro Fuenmayor, right foot, he steps into the half space, plays it on the ground for Formella, tries to drive a ball in, blocked away by Calvillo. Skierce recollects for Rising. Far space, Azakar in the box, right side, touched off, and Ruiz picks it up again for El Paso. Poor clearance, Zambrano into his space, Azakar at the byline, cuts back, right side, back for Wyke. Lawrence Wyke, a body feint, and now roaming room to ride his way towards the end line. Back for Zambrano. 7-8 pass sequence just in that space for Rising, maybe 15 in total. Steady possession for Phoenix, back for Fuenmayor. Center circle, attacking half, 33rd minute, 0-0. Phoenix have taken over the bulk of the possession in the last 5 or so. Scarce, Wyke, right side, bleached blonde hair. Feet of Scarce, Fede Varela, top of the box. Azakar, wide for Wyke again. What a fine passing sequence for Phoenix. And back they go again. Marboy, long sleeves, white wrist tape on his left wrist. Fuenmayor, he gets the layoff. He lays it off for Scarce. Poor touch from JP Scarce. And El Paso win it back. They've got numbers if they choose. It's 3-on-3. Wide space for Moreno. And Pop Marboy, athletic as ever, comes to cover. And Phoenix win the ball back. That's the free safety. The Clemson kid, Pop Marboy. There's a stoppage in play. Ryan Myers is an El Paso player. Has hit the turf in their defensive half. Well done from the rookie center back.
Yeah, it's a great job by Pop Marboy there to kind of play, like you said, is that free safety in case of emergency, like there almost was that time. But that's why you love to have a player like Pop Marboy in the squad, Ryan. He allows you to have that extra bit of freedom going forward because, you know, you can push a guy forward maybe. An extra man, White, can get forward. Fuenmayor can get forward because Pop Marboy is always there, ready to recover at any moment, needing to have somebody recover in those situations. Exactly what just happened that time after a good passage play from Rising, despite it not leading to anything significant.
35th minute, 0-0. We have talked a ton about this one tonight. First Responders Night pregame festivities. For more on that, we've got Mahir Sinhasan, the third member of our team.
Yeah, guys, definitely an eventful evening for First Responders Night. It started off with a police versus firefighters soccer match where the firefighters won 9-2, and then the game ball during pregame was delivered via helicopter right to the center of the pitch. And then, as it has been since pregame today, in the southwest corner, the U.S. flag is hanging from a fire truck ladder. That thing's got to be at least, I'd say maybe 20, 25, maybe upwards of 30 feet in the air, guys. Definitely a great night to honor our public servants.
Mahir, I think it might be more than that. I don't know, I'm what, 5'5"? That looks like at least a trillion of me from our vantage point in the Northwest.
You know, I might have to agree with you on that one.
It's tall, the flag is big. Did the helicopter blow you away?
No, I was able to keep my ground.
Really? Firm stance, Mahir Sinhasan?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's see if he can go find us some more stories. Mahir, thank you for your time. Train rolling by at 38th and Washington, planes flying through the air. A sighting of what looked to have been British Airways. Late night flight for them. John Scarce, JP Scarce, given a yellow card in the intermission, so he joins Fuenmayor in the book of Elton Garcia tonight. None for El Paso have found a caution so far. A long reset to help the injured player. It was Yuma Monsalves, 38 years old, Madrid, Spain. Spent time in the top flight of the Spanish division with Rayo Vallecano back in the day. Played in their academy, made the move to Rayo OKC in the early 2010s in the NASL era for them. Found his way to Jacksonville Armada. Played with Mark Lowry there. Lowry made the move to El Paso Locomotive in the USL Championship, and Yuma followed him. He's been there ever since. One of the consummate professionals in the championship. Rising reset finally. Going to the center of the pitch. Scarce, a long ball over the top to the near side. Gabby Torres, touch and play, cleared away Armando Moreno. And it's a Phoenix Rising throw, and they reset quickly, Ryan Myers. Over the top, Wyke. Azakar, right side. Back for Fuenmayor. In the box for Formella, taking to grounds. Minimal contact as Jamali Waite scoops it up.
Minimal contact. Darius Formella would like to disagree. He fell hard done by as soon as that ball was played into the box. Looked right over Elton Garcia. Couple of groans at the official. Once again, though, he's sticking to it.
El Paso build up. Rodriguez, Yuma, slices the ball. Switching play to the left far side. Ricky Ruiz a touch, hounded by Azakar. And in trouble he was. Wyke wins it back. Wyke takes a heavy touch forward. No foul. He was taken to ground. El Paso scoop it back up. 56% of the ball in favor of Phoenix. 38 minutes gone. No score for either side. And this one on Friday, July 19th. Stauffer, Moreno couldn't find space as he tried to pick up the ball from the youngster Rodriguez. Phoenix win a throw, 8:50 local time.
I'm really enjoying seeing, Ryan, the way Armando Moreno is kind of unleashing himself, being that vertical option for El Paso. He's been an outlet for them a lot of this game. He's not the most explosive, type of player, but still is able to make those quality runs in behind using his brains over his brute quickness.
Long ball from Jamali Waite. He got it from Yuma over the top. One by Fuenmayor. One back by Rivas of El Paso. In behind for Moreno. And offside flag flies from the near AR Trotter. Phoenix a free kick coming.
My bad. Commentators cursed there. I was talking about Moreno's
always with you.
brain, and then as soon as that happens, he's offside.
So let's go back to this. So, Ryan, we did Rising Radio on the road in Las Vegas. Myers had 2 or 3 in Las Vegas where he just said something and then the exact opposite thing happened. What did we have, Miami as well?
Yeah, Miami as well, yep.
You've just been terrible this year.
Yeah, I don't know if that's me just not knowing the game as well as I would like to say I do. But maybe we'll just stop making predictions about players and see what happens.
You know, might as well just throw your credibility out of the door. You know, midfield for Fede Varela. Ryan knows just enough about the game of soccer to qualify him for this, I would say. Fede in midfield, still with it. Lays along for Quayshow. Good touch from Emmy, taking the ground. He was halfway there. No whistle from the referee Garcia. Center of the park, Coronado. Back for Yuma. He's under trouble. Formella wins it back. High position for Azakar. Darius Formella's in the box. Formella across. It's blocked away. It's a corner kick now. El Paso's not happy because they thought it should have been a foul. Formella's not happy because he thought there was a handball. A lot to unpack, but it's a corner kick for Phoenix.
Yeah, and last but not least, Fede Varela's not happy because he was through on goal potentially, and the ball was a little bit late to get off the feet of Azakar. Was able to find Darius Formella out wide instead to win the corner, but another player that might not be too happy going into this corner kick.
40th minute, 0-0. Phoenix from the far side, a left-footed ball to be taken here by Emmy Quayshow. Quayshow, his 6th start of the year. First since Indy 11 on May 25th. He only played 45 in that game. Kind of got left out in the cold the last couple of weeks of the Danny Stone era. Quayshow serves the ball in. It's a good one. It's cleared away by the 6'5 Dolenmeyer. Cleared away furthermore towards Moreno. One back, though, by Formella. He's got the ball right side, near side. He drifts it over the top of the head of Azakar. It was actually the left side, rather. And it's nowhere near the head of the wingback Juan Carlos Azakar. It's a goal kick for El Paso. You got your hands on your head.
I do, along with the entirety of the north stand just near us, because Azakar, as well as White, was very open on that on the back post. Formella played the ball perfectly in between both of them where neither one was able to get on it.
Quayshow wins it high. Good turn from Fede Varela. Well defended again by Noah Dolenmeyer, who has been everywhere in the back line. Jamali Waite gets it back, scoops it up, but it was Waite who played a poor ball over the top. It was a header won by Marboy. Quayshow picked it up, played a ball to Fede, and they play another poor one out of the back. Quayshow scoops it up again, switches play Azakar in the 18. Top of the box, it skips through 3 red shirts. Phoenix still with possession. Quayshow, Skierce, Quayshow again. Emmy driving towards the byline. He's taken down in the corner, and he's fouled by Armando Moreno. It's another free kick for Phoenix on the near side. Another de facto corner. Emmy Quayshow's pressure has been paramount over the last couple of possessions for El Paso.
Well, if you're Wilmer Cabrera right now, Ryan, you're just praying that your side can get into halftime at this point in the match with only a couple minutes until the 45th marker. There's been a lot of pressure on El Paso as of late by Phoenix Rising. Big chances coming in bunches now for the home team. And another chance with the set piece here, almost like a corner kick, was able to put pressure on the back line of El Paso, trying to see if Phoenix Rising can keep knocking on the door and maybe finally get one in the back of the net.
43rd minute, Zambrano right arm, 90-degree angle to the air. 7 shirts in the box. Renzo lifts it towards the 6. It's over the head of Wade into the back of the net. It's a simple ball over the top from Renzo, and the hometown kid, J.P. Skierce, has his first goal in Rising colors. Phoenix 1, El Paso 0.
The pressure was mounting for Phoenix Rising. That time, Renzo Zambrano with a beautiful ball into the back post. Nothing anybody could do about it. And JP Sirius, the tall, lanky midfielder, able to get his head on it. A well-deserved goal there by Phoenix Rising, taking the lead just before the halftime interval. What a way to start this first half of play for Phoenix Rising.
Back-to-back starts for John J.P. Sirius, former Chaparral High School standout. Joined from Union Omaha in the offseason out of League One. He had appeared in 10 straight before Charleston. He's appeared in 13 of Rising's last 14. He gets his first goal in that famous USL Championship red. 44 minutes gone, and Rising have a very crucial early goal at home. El Paso will restart, and we will see how much stoppage time will come in about 90 seconds. Locomotive go forward. It's played back and won by Rising, though, at the feet of Rocco Rios Novo. Zambrano, just a perfect ball over the top as well.
Beautiful.
To find the back post. Waite extending as far as he could. He couldn't get there.
No, Waite almost obstructed as well by one player by Phoenix Rising. Not sure who it was. He looked frustrated after the ball was in the back of the net, but a great pass by Zambrano just on the edge of the 6-yard box, that little corner on the back post, and JP Sirius was the only man that was getting to that ball. Great pass, beautiful finish, and a well-deserved goal by Phoenix Rising, taking the lead before the halftime interval.
A clever cross from the captain sees Sirius score his first goal. It's the third assist of the year, team leading for Renzo Zambrano now, as Lawrence Wyke has possession for Phoenix after a couple of interchanges occur in the middle of the park. And Rising go forward down the right side, attacking half. Azakar running at Ruiz, and no room to go for Ricky Ruiz as he stumbled, slipped on the ball, plays it poorly down the left side. Zambrano comes through the back of an El Paso player, and it's a free kick for the away side.
Like I mentioned just before the set piece, Wilmer Cabrera just needed to get into the halftime interval. This lead paramount now, huge for Phoenix Rising, getting into the halftime break with being up a goal that they probably deserved after the way the last 10 to 15 minutes have gone in this match.
We'll have 3 minutes of stoppage time to take us through the end of the first 45 plus. El Paso still haven't taken that opening for that restart yet. They do now. Feet of Yuma Monsalves. You're listening to Phoenix Rising Football Club and Rising Radio on X, Facebook, and KVIT. Chandler Mesa, Phoenix, 88.7 FM The Pulse, as well as Sirius XM Channel 157 tonight, Friday, July 19th. Ryan Sikora, Ryan Myers, Mahir Sinhasan, Kevin Cardez, our producer on this Friday evening. Over the top goes El Paso, looking for Armando Moreno. Well shielded, and it takes 4 more steps to get out of touch for a Rising goal kick. We've played almost a minute beyond this opening 45, Ryan Myers.
I'm very impressed with the way that Rising have been able to continue the sustained pressure in this match. But when I saw Emil Quaisho was in the starting 11, I knew exactly the kind of impact he might be able to have on this match. We've mentioned his name a lot in this first half, but he was also the man that drew the free kick that led to the goal. He's been the man that's been at the positive part of so much creation for this Phoenix Rising team in the opening 45 minutes of play. A very impressive start from him.
Ball in behind, flicked on header Formella. Nobody there, and El Paso will recollect. It feels like the Emil Quaisho of the tail end of 2023, where he was Rising's key man at points of that playoff run to the title. Short pass from Waite, feet of Stauffer, too low. Gabby Torres, clearance. It goes off the foot of Lucas Stauffer, and Rising will have a throw in on the near side, level with the technical area of the away team, El Paso Locomotive. Quick throw in Quaisho. It was a poor one, well won by Stauffer, and Locomotive have possession again down the near right side. Back for Calvillo, turns towards his own goal and plays back for Dolenmeyer. 1 minute to play or so in this first half. Good flick on, Petrovic to Moreno. Armando Moreno one-on-one with Marboy. Pop turns him backwards, center circle. Mario Rodriguez, Petar Petrovic, left side, dives, ducks, drives beyond Lawrence Wyke, a shot. It's 10 yards over Rios Novo's frame. All that for that. Still 1-0, 48th.
It's not bad, though. Sometimes you just got to have a go. And after that smooth flick Petrovic had to create the chance going forward, the 1-2 off of Moreno. Good attempt there. Not able to keep it down, but the idea was there from Mayor. Good defensive prowess to stay in front. Now creeping into the halftime break. Maybe you might have wanted a better chance if you're El Paso before the halftime interval.
2 whistles and a goal for Phoenix Rising. J.P. Scarce is first for his hometown club. The kid from Nogales who played at Chaparral scores in this one. An assist from Renzo Zambrano. The difference between these two on First Responders Night on a Friday night. Ryan Myers, your takeaways from the opening 45 for both sides.
I was happy with the way that both teams were able to start off being aggressive, but Phoenix Rising able to grow into themselves. The directness that they needed to have, the passion they needed to show, they did. In the end of that first half, they were able to finally knock on the door and get the goal in the back of the net. A well-deserved goal with the way that they've been playing over the last 15 to 10 minutes of that first half of action. So a good half in all, if you're a Phoenix Rising fan.
We'll step aside. We'll take a sift through the action of the first half when we come back on the Rising Radio halftime report. This is Rising Radio. Phoenix 1, El Paso 0 at the break.
Suzuchuku's in.
You're listening to Rising Radio, home of the 2023 USL champions.
Bliss and a burst of red smoke. Phoenix Rising, our home. Welcome to 38th and Washington.
Stick around for more as our broadcast continues.
What would you give for a child you loved? To make their wish come true? To help them fight a critical illness? Just imagine what you'd do. You see, wishes are so powerful, and you can make them real. They can give a child back their childhood, even change the way they feel. Every single one of us can make the stars align. Because when we come together, hope and joy will shine. Wishes need stars like you. Visit Make-A-Wish at wish.org.
I'm Naheem Hines, proud supporter of the Muscular Dystrophy Association. My mom has muscular dystrophy, and the MDA helps her and kids like my buddy Ethan.
My name is Ethan, and I'm 12 years old. Thanks to the Muscular Dystrophy Association and people like you, I have more hope than ever before. And MDA funds over 150 care centers for kids like me.
For over 70 years, MDA has been transforming the lives of people living with muscular dystrophy, ALS, and related neuromuscular diseases. Learn more at mda.org today.
The sun's shining, birds are singing, and all feels right in the world.
Until the season changes, and suddenly you lose your motivation to get out of bed. In fact, 1 in 5 people experience some form of depression, no matter the season or time of year.
At the American Psychiatric Association Foundation, our vision is to build a mentally healthy nation for all, because we want you to live your best life and be your best you all year round.
Please visit mentallyhealthynation.org to learn more.
The Supplemental Security Income Program provides monthly payments to help meet basic needs, like putting food on the table, paying the rent, or buying new shoes for growing feet. You may qualify if your income and financial resources are low, and you are 65 or older, or an adult or child with a disability, or who is blind. Call 1-800-772-1213 or go to ssa.gov/SSI to start to apply. Produced by Social Security at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Every day, we take steps to keep the people we love safe, but some health risks are easy to miss. Ticks hiding in the yard can spread germs, like the ones that cause Lyme disease. Mice searching for food can spread bacteria that makes us sick. Mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water and can spread West Nile virus and more. Cockroaches are drawn to water in the home, leaving behind allergens that can trigger asthma attacks. Common pests can threaten our health. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org.
From the Valley of the Sun, it has fully set. The moon is out and Phoenix Rising are out in front at home on a Friday night against El Paso Locomotive. 1-0 at the break, a JP Skeers goal off a free kick that felt like a corner kick. Renzo Zambrano getting the assist. This is the Rising Radio halftime report on Rising Radio, Phoenix Rising's X and Facebook pages. Tonight we've gone to YouTube. We're also on 88.7 FM The Pulse and Sirius XM channel 157. Busiest hands in the West tonight from State 48. Ryan Sikora, Ryan Myers, Mahir Sinhasan, the triage to take you through the halftime report. Ryan, we'll start with you. Phoenix a little bit different in shape. It's been very effective in spurt tonight against an El Paso team that look out of answers.
Yeah, we're seeing almost this 3-5-2 type of system going forward, Ryan, where Emmy Quasiel and Gabby Torres are almost playing as an interchangeable left-sided way of width. And then you have the two up top, Varela and Darius Formella, who have been able to kind of bounce off each other, bounce off the wide players, create chances going forward. That allows Renzo Zambrano to get involved. That's allowing JP Skeers and Lawrence White to get involved as well going forward off the right-hand side of the pitch. This team is really moving forward as a unit, and they're allowing each other to kind of be direct and progressive in spurts without giving up too much defensively as well. It's very solid.
And what a feeling for JP Skeers. It has to be. He's gone and done it the hard way, right? He goes to community college, to junior college, plays at Yavapai for a couple of years, eventually ventures his way into the soccer pyramid, gets up to Union Omaha, was maybe one of the best midfielders in League One all of last year, gets the opportunity with Rising Ryan at the beginning of the season, struggled for playing time in the very early months of the season, and all of a sudden, a flip kind of switched after the Open Cup loss against Seattle, where he was playing more and more under Danny Stone, being trusted more and more under Danny Stone, and Diego Gomez has started him in both of his games in charge. He gets a gorgeous goal in front of his hometown crowd.
Yeah, Ryan, for a team that struggled a lot this season with consistency, he's been a player, JP Skeers, that's been able to provide some sort of consistency when he's been on the pitch in the middle of the park. He has a slower tempo, methodical, good on the ball, one of those taller, lanky midfielders that's very assured in his own ability, and then that allows him to kind of be creative at spurts as well. We saw that today. He's kind of been able to allow Renzo Zambrano to do his thing going forward, being progressive, create chances, and he's been a good player that can kind of recycle the possession and keep it moving. But with his tall, his height really, able to make the most of set pieces, at time getting the goal off a great pass from his midfield partner.
Just 6'1", but quite the leap on JP Skeers, third member of our team, Mahir Sinhasan. Mahir, how's the weather down there? It's obviously a hotter night than usual. It feels a little windy. I'm looking at the flag in the southwest corner, and it's moving.
Yeah, it sure is, Ryan. The wind is not as bad down here, and to be honest with you guys, it's a very comfortable night. The ball, save for sometimes where it passes over the 18-yard box, tends to be moving well. Players seem to be doing well, and overall, for a July night in Phoenix, it's not that bad.
And we'll talk to you, I guess, again. I talked to Ryan about some of the tactics we've seen for the first half. Both coaches playing a bit of a chess match. What have you seen down there firsthand?
Yeah, I think both coaches have definitely been a bit more passive. I'll talk about Diego Gomez for a second. One thing we saw in the Danny Stone era is, especially in some spurts in the first half, he'll call whoever is closest to him and really have an individual conversation. We haven't seen that any time in the first half with Diego Gomez, really kind of doing his coaching from afar, but it tends to be working well for this Phoenix Rising team. And overall, the passivity is even the case for Wilmer Cabrera on the other side. So both teams, like you said, Ryan, trying to feel out this game and trying to find the best way possible.
And if you're Diego Gomez, a halftime lead at 45 minutes gone, Mahir, this is maybe your chance to start a run of form. And when you're a 34-year-old interim manager for one of the biggest clubs in the USL Championship, you've never had a job like this. This is your audition. This is all you have.
You're pretty much right, Ryan, and I think Diego Gomez talked about it earlier this week and said, hey, this club is known for having a run of form that is towards the top. They're known for being a championship caliber team, and he wants to try to instill some of that culture from now going until the end of the season in hopes that the Rising can make another playoff run like we saw last year. And I think the biggest thing, too, just looking at these next 45, you look at who you have on your bench with the new signings available, but also the fact that you have a guy in Jamali Waite in goal for El Paso that tends to be a little bit passive in general. I only heard him maybe yell out instructions maybe once in the entire first half, and it was actually just a few moments before the set piece and the JP Skeers goal. So it's definitely an El Paso defense that can tactically be pushed apart, definitely be solved at times. And I think especially when you have a goalkeeper who's not being as vocal, you can definitely try to really pin some balls towards him.
Yeah, Mahir, and I feel like we talk about this a lot in this sport where this is where coaches make their money as the substitutes in the second half and creating these opportunities for their team the rest of the way. And for Rising, being up a goal at this point at home, are there any subs, maybe a new signing you're looking forward to seeing maybe get on the pitch? Anybody you think needs to be on the pitch in the second half for Phoenix?
I think I would just go for both of them in that regards. Charlie Dennis and then Damian Barker-John try to get the attack building forward. That's something that Diego Gomez once again talked about earlier this week, and something that Rising has struggled with this season. If they could try to build the attack, and especially with Dennis being that combination of a 10 and an 8 trying to combine with whoever's going down the right, where at times we've seen Juan Carlos Azacar be on that right fullback side, maybe drift towards the middle. But either way, you do have Edgardo Rito on the bench, and Dennis actually talked about his relationship with Rito when they were both at Oakland a couple years ago. It's a very formidable relationship. They can cause a lot of trouble down the lanes and especially score goals.
And for you, Ryan, any potential danger man on the dawn for El Paso, you have to probably look at Ricardo Zacarias.
Yeah, you really do. They need to find a way to get the ball in the box more consistently going into this next half, and Ricardo Zacarias can do that a little bit, being able to be one of those forwards, those midfielders who can get in behind, who can stretch and kind of create something out of nothing for El Paso that have kind of struggled to get their foothold in this first half of action.
Plenty still to come. This game has not been won yet. 1-0 Phoenix at the break. We'll step aside on the Rising Radio halftime report when we come back. Second half kickoff on the way.
Zuzuchukwu's in. Arteaga!
You're listening to Rising Radio, home of the 2023 USL champions.
Bliss and a burst of red smoke. Phoenix Rising, our home. Welcome to 38th and Washington.
Stick around for more as our broadcast continues.
The Supplemental Security Income Program provides monthly payments to help meet basic needs, like putting food on the table, paying the rent, or buying new shoes for growing feet. You may qualify if your income and financial resources are low, and you are 65 or older, or an adult or child with a disability, or who is blind. Call 1-800-772-1213 or go to ssa.gov/SSI to start to apply. Produced by Social Security at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Hi, I'm Peyton Manning, and I'm partnering with the American Red Cross this year to tackle blood shortages. Giving blood's important because every 2 seconds, someone actually needs blood, and unfortunately, only like 3% of the U.S. population donates. So we have to step up to give and to make sure there's plenty of blood available for those in need. Visit redcrossblood.org to get in the game and make an appointment to give.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
We're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that our daughters have what they need to grow and learn. But that isn't the case for nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. that struggle with hunger.
Childhood hunger is a heartbreaking reality that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and provides it to families and children in need.
You can help kids in need in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hey, hon, what you doing with your phone? Taking pictures?
No, I'm asking it questions.
Like what?
Hey, Bobo, do flowers have best friends?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, follow me. I want to show you something. Look, flowers do have best friends.
Whoa.
Some answers can only be found in nature. Discover the unsearchable. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a trail near you. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
I'm just texting him back. I'm just posting a story. I'm just changing the song. I'm just...
No. When it comes to distracted driving, just don't. Sending a text takes your eyes off the road for just 5 seconds, but in that time, your car can travel the length of an entire football field. Any distracted driving just isn't worth it.
Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
The sun's shining, birds are singing, and all feels right in the world.
Until the season changes, and suddenly you lose your motivation to get out of bed. In fact, 1 in 5 people experience some form of depression, no matter the season or time of year.
At the American Psychiatric Association Foundation, our vision is to build a mentally healthy nation for all, because we want you to live your best life and be your best you all year round.
Please visit mentallyhealthynation.org to learn more.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says,
avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, Honey Bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
I'm Naheem Hines, proud supporter of the Muscular Dystrophy Association. My mom has muscular dystrophy, and the MDA helps her and kids like my buddy Ethan.
My name is Ethan, and I'm 12 years old. Thanks to the Muscular Dystrophy Association and people like you, I have more hope than ever before. And MDA funds over 150 care centers for kids like me.
For over 70 years, MDA has been transforming the lives of people living with muscular dystrophy, ALS, and related neuromuscular diseases. Learn more at mda.org today.
Second half on the way from Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix Rising 1, El Paso Locomotive 0 on this Friday night bout, a dollar beer night in the Valley of the Sun. On Rising Radio, Ryan Sikora with Ryan Myers. Rising will come out and move the ball from left to right on your radio timeline. They will kick off towards the south end in this second half. Blow the whistle from Elton Garcia. Second half is underway with Alejandro Fuenmayor taking a touch on the ball, driving it forward. Header won by Yuma of El Paso. 10 seconds in, Phoenix have a throw in the attacking half. El Paso, interestingly enough, over the course of the halftime break, Ryan, we saw them get out 3-4 minutes before halftime was slated to start. Phoenix was maybe a minute late, so a wide difference in instruction from both managers, surely.
Yeah, you almost wonder with an interim coach, if you want to try to maybe say too much at times to your team. Maybe Diego Gomez just had a lot to say to his boys in the halftime interval. But a good half for Rising. They need to keep their foot on the gas in this half. They cannot let themselves back off and allow El Paso to grow into the game. They got to keep the pressure on like they had in that entire first half.
And do you think that's what you just said there is the key point that Diego Gomez is probably trying to hammer home over the break?
I'm sure, especially you probably pointed at a couple guys like Emi Cueto that we saw, like Renzo Zambrano, and said, hey, the way these two have played, we need to continue to play like that. We need to continue to grow into the game and put pressure on the opponent while you're up a goal at home.
Rising could really do something well to pin back El Paso's ears the first 15 minutes. Touch for Lawrence White, defensive half. Stable possession for Phoenix, a minute gone in the second 45. Middle of the park, JP Scarce, the goal scorer. Progressive pass forward for Fede Varela. Lost the ball but gained it back. Got taken to ground by Mario Rodriguez. Got the ball at his feet before. And Phoenix triangulate through midfield and get the ball back to Pop Marboy, their center back on the night. Pop now has quietly made 16 appearances for Phoenix this year. For a rookie campaign, that's pretty darn good, just 20 years of age.
He's an incredible player, Ryan.
Someone who should have had MLS opportunities. He was a likely top 5 pick in the Super Draft, but chose to come to Phoenix in his first offseason. Theory working is he's got a little more control over his professional future if he so chooses. Down the line, El Paso. Forward goes Mario Rodriguez. Feet of Amando Moreno. Working his way, ducking and diving. Back for One of the midfielders, Rodriguez, he got in trouble. It was turned away by Sirius. It's an El Paso throw. 2 minutes gone. Second half. 47th minute now into the 48th. Switch of play. Dolenmeyer, supported by Ruiz. Left back on the night. Petrovic, the left winger. Glides inward. Lays along for Eric Calvillo. Calvillo over the top. Skips it. One hopper. Good touch. This is Rodriguez taken off of it by Emil Cuecho, and back for Fuenmayor. Cleared hard into the feet of Torres, and Gabby with a good touch, center of the park. Gabby Torres, Formella spinning out of trouble. Dolenmeyer the defender, and back for Lawrence White. Phoenix with a careful possession, one would say, to start this game, but then a giveaway. It's my fault this time, Ryan. Won by Armando Moreno. Moreno driving forward, lays the ball across, and it's well scooped out by Pop Marboy. So what are we, like for like offenders, 1-1 so far in the commentator's curse?
I almost wish we had more time in the pregame to speak about the potential positive commentator's curse, the way Rendo Zambrano had played. Somebody we talked about in the pregame as somebody to watch into this match.
Marboy on the ball, and Rios Novo. Rocco recollects himself and plays it forward for Sirius, back for Rios Novo. A pretty standard 4-4-2 right now for El Paso defensively. Sirius, what a great turn on the half he goes, and finds Zambrano. He slips as he received and gave it away. Petrovic, Calvillo slips in the middle of the park. Fede Varela, rising, can attack. Down the right side, 4-ball for Azacar, and swept away by Dolenmeyer. Clears it off Azacar's bottom of his foot, and it's a free kick for El Paso, but Phoenix were quick to drive forward as soon as they won the ball there.
Would have been a perfectly weighted pass there by Fede Varela if that was Edgardo Rito potentially barreling down that right-hand wing, but Azacar not quite blessed with the same burst of speed that Rito has available to him. But still, nonetheless, positive from Phoenix. They need to keep the pressure on, though, not get complacent with their lead and complacent in the way they usually like to play.
And behind from Rodriguez as El Paso picked it up, wants Moreno, scooped up by Marboy. And Moreno slips again, so maybe that's something to keep an eye on. Maybe we can get Mahir on that one, ask around. So many slips to start this second half.
Well, the hot sun might dry out the turf a little bit, making the grass more thin, easier to lose your footing. That's what we've seen a lot of in this first half. Many a times players slipping across the middle of the park. Ryan, I see now already Gabby Torres maybe still getting some space, but not as free as he was in that first half of action. Him and Cuecho were so dangerous down the left-hand side. We're seeing more of a shade from Staffer towards him early before he gets the ball to feet.
Cuecho dropping in now, and back for Fuenmayor. Clearance ball from Fuenmayor is blocked on the way. It's at the feet of Joaquin Rivas. A shot is blocked. It was really poor from Rising. Fuenmayor tried to clear one through the air. He instead drove one on the ground. It went off the back side of Cuecho and fell kindly for Joaquin Rivas, who could have laid it off for Moreno but went his own. It's a corner kick coming for Locomotive.
Once again, Fuenmayor losing his footing again. We've seen that happen a lot in this half already, Ryan. The slip made the ball poor. Turnover almost led to something really dangerous. Rivas picked the set up quickly and able to win a corner for his side, though.
On those aforementioned Ryan Meyer's tactical notices earlier, there were no personnel changes at the half for either side. The same 22 we began the game with. Plenty of packed bodies inside the 6 for El Paso. Lifted ball from Moreno to the back post. Headed away Marboy. Only as far, though, as Moreno is wanted back, and Zambrano is chased again. Zambrano wins the ball over the top. He clears one, wants Formella over Darius Formella's head, and back for Jamali Wade. 52 minutes gone, 1-0 Phoenix. They did give the goal to J.P. Sirius, by the way. Upon replay at halftime from our vantage, it took a deflection off the back of Robert Coronado, but the ball already heading onto the frame of El Paso, so Sirius gets his goal. Foul in the middle of the park. Zambrano comes through the back of Coronado, and a free kick for El Paso Locomotive. And we will see our first substitution of the game here in the 52nd. It's Charlie Dennis to make his Rising debut. He'll replace Alejandro Fuenmayor. So a center midfielder, Ryan Myers, on for a center back in Fuenmayor. Ale is on a yellow card.
Yeah, what we're seeing quickly here is J.P. Skeers dropping into that right-sided center half role. Lawrence White going over to the left now to replace where Fuenmayor was. You definitely don't want to have a defender on a yellow card deep into the match in case it needs to be a tactical foul. Here's the versatility of J.P. Skeers playing as a central defender now for Phoenix Rising.
Over the top, the ball goes from El Paso. Emi Cuesho's dropped deep. He's under pressure. More on that back line in a moment. Cuesho gets it out. Heavy touch Torres. Gabby under trouble, and in trouble rather, and he's taken to ground. No whistle. It's a throw-in for El Paso. This is the same back three that Rising used in the season opener against Birmingham. Marboy through the middle, Wyke off the left, Skeers on the right. Ricky Ruiz in the center of the park. That Birmingham game feels like 6 years ago. Myers and I might have been in high school when Birmingham played Phoenix at the beginning of the year. Which, in fairness, isn't that long ago, I suppose.
No, not really.
Dolenmeyer on the ball for El Paso. 54th minute. Let's see where Charlie Dennis picks up his spaces to start this game. If he plays as an 8, that could be a telling sign going forward for the back half of the year for Phoenix. Charlie Dennis, sizable in stature, 6'2", 180, 28 years old, from Brighton, England. Rising debut for him. Spent time in Oakland 2 years ago. Was an all-league selection last year at Tampa Bay. Hasn't played a ton this year for Rowdies in the Eastern Conference, but when given a run out, when staying fit, he's an effective option for any team in this league. Azakar in for Dennis, who slipped, and Charlie couldn't get his first touches in a Rising shirt. Rodriguez scoops it up.
We'll see how him and Renzo kind of play off each other. Zambrano was the advanced midfielder of the two, playing with J.P. Skeers, but now it looks like Charlie Dennis might be the more advanced number 8 of the pair.
Ricky Ruiz forward for El Paso, left side, near side. Petrovic laid along, couple of step overs towards the byline. Petar Petrovic at the box, took a deflection off the shoulder of Marboy. Rios Novo had come to claim a ball at the 6. That deflection veered the ball towards the goal mouth, and Rocco took one strong step off his left, pirouettes backwards like a ballerina, and claims it on the goal line before spinning around as a dancer and keeping it away from the frame. There's a El Paso player down just outside the Rising 18. Elton Garcia will stop play, and the physio for Locomotive will come take a look. 55th minute, 1-0.
Looks like it could be Petar Petrovic on the ground, the man who's been pretty deadly on this left-hand side of the pitch all match for El Paso, but all that running in this heat, like we mentioned before, it's hot. Even for these professional footballers who are in amazing shape, sometimes the heat just catches up to you, a little bit of cramp coming in. But like I wanted to mention about Charlie Dennis and his position on the pitch, Ryan, we see him kind of playing more advanced in this 8/number 10 role, where Renzo Zambrano's kind of changed roles from being the advanced midfielder to dropping deep, kind of protecting the back line. We'll see how that kind of works out and plays into this whole match, with still having J.P. Skeers on the pitch as a hybrid right-sided center back that can step into midfield as well.
Petrovic taken off, 56 minutes for him. The injury too much to continue, and Ricardo Zacharias, one of the few senior players on the bench, is in for Wilmer Cabrera's side. Before we get back to the action, third member of our team, Mahir Sanasan, we talked a couple of minutes ago, Mahir, about the slippage and the dry turf causing trouble.
Yeah, it's definitely been a case in the second half, more the case in the first half. I just see a bunch of divots down this near side, and it affected Rising's play in the first half where they couldn't really get down that left wing, and El Paso kind of doing the same thing, although they've been going down the left a little bit more often than Phoenix has. Let's see how that area of the pitch dictates the pace for both sides.
Rising reset me here. We'll play a little game, you and I. You count how many slips you see from here on out. I'll count them, and we'll see who has more. I don't know what the winning prize will be yet, but we'll figure that out when we get there.
I think it's good.
Thank you. That's Mahir Sanasan, legend of the game, I've been told.
Should be knowledgeable about the sport, maybe more than I am in terms of commentator's curse.
He doesn't make as many mistakes as you do, Ryan Myers. 57th minute. Marboy, Zambrano, back for Rios Novo. Mahir's also going to Paris, so he'll be at the Olympics. He won't be competing, of course, although that would be something.
I heard he was running the 100-meter.
I hope not. America does not have a good chance of winning if he's there for the 100-meter. We've seen that already this year, Mahir Sinhasan on Rising Radio. Running back from pressers to find his way. Rising have the ball, and now they've lost it in the middle of the park. Calvillo picks it up, an overlapping run from Ricardo Zacharias, a hefty, bulky frame that he has down the right side. He cuts onto his left, turns back, and it's turned away by Gabby Torres. Zacharias, those orange flashy boots, cause early trouble as he turns himself onto the pitch. Back for Calvillo, center of the park for El Paso. 10 paces off the 18. Dolenmeyer, his left foot, he can drive him. Takes 5 touches, won't shoot, and lays along Ricky Ruiz. Number 33, into the feet of Robert Coronado. The two new boys connecting. Charlie Dennis in the back of him, and Charlie Dennis commits a foul in a dangerous space in the attacking half. That's all 3 of those guys that just touched the ball. Dennis, Ruiz, Coronado have been signed in the last, 70 hours or so from other clubs for their respective new teams. Dennis for Phoenix, Ruiz and Coronado for El Paso.
Beauty of the summer transfer window in this U.S. soccer pyramid scheme where you're already a long ways through your season, but the international window just opens up in time for you to have the late push of players come in, see what you need with the last bit of the season left, and you get that going for you. All these new guys trying to make their mark for their new clubs early.
And the summer window here serves as though it's the winter window in Europe. Short free kick, Ruiz lays along Moreno, another thing from the training ground. Calvillo gets the ball, he fires, it's blocked away off the backside of Azacar, scooped up by Mario Rodriguez, and Locomotive will reset. That's to say, again, the transfer window takes place in the middle of the season. So when you're signing guys in the summer, you're signing players who are presumably fit and ready to be immediately inserted into your squad, and you're looking for subtle pieces to help your team improve rather than overarching long-term opinions or long-term signings like you would be in the winter window here, right?
Yeah, exactly. You want players who are going to help you get the best chance of winning going forward, to plug in any holes you might have in that team. For Phoenix Rising, it's Charlie Dennis, a player who is able to kind of add an extra bit of creative spark in the middle of the park, something they've lacked a lot of this season, and other guys as well doing that for their respective clubs.
60th minute, 1-0 Phoenix. Over the top the ball goes, a touch from Formella, taken off of it by Ruiz. It's a free kick for Phoenix Rising. Right side, center stripe. Right car, right price, at your leisure, or in a rush when you're in the market for your next used car. Carvana.com's the place to be. More info at Carvana.com or the Carvana app. Carvana, a proud sponsor of the Phoenix Rising Football Club. Phoenix have the ball, they drive forward, they win a throw in the attacking space. It's well done from Charlie Dennis, who's trying to pick up the ball more in his Rising debut. He throws it in, feet of Farella over the head of Charlie Dennis as he tried to go on a 1-2 motion. Not connected there.
You love to hear the Banditos on the south side giving Charlie Dennis some love as soon as he gets on the ball. When you're a new signing, you want to have the fans rally behind you, get on the good side of the supporters. He's trying to do that early, and they're backing him thus far.
One change for either side through the first 15 minutes of the second half. Dennis on for Fuenmayor for Phoenix. Zacharias on for Petrovic for El Paso. Pop bar boy on the ball for Rising. He drops it back for Rocco Rios Novo. Forward they go. Rios Novo skips a couple of lines for Skiers. JP Skiers, 5, 6, 7 touches. Lays along for Azacar. Into the box for Darius Formella. A shot! It trickled quickly, but wide of the far post of Waite. So well done from JP Skiers, who once again, Myers, picks the ball up on the half turn, progressive with his drive. He creates room for Azacar and then Formella, and it could have been 2-0 there.
Well, that's exactly what Diego Gomez would have drawn up in the halftime locker room, allowing JP Skiers to have a lot of freedom of movement on the right side of the pitch as a third center back. He can still get forward and show his quality throughout this game, and that time almost mounted in a goal. Great play, though, going forward by Phoenix Rising. It's an awkward position he picks up, JP Skiers. You kind of have to check him in a way that you wouldn't be used to checking a midfielder that's stepping into midfield, but then he's still so creative. That time a late tackle where he got hit hard, and then Azacar had plenty of time and space to whip in a cross. Unlucky to not find the back of the net for Phoenix Rising.
Middle of the park for Renzo Zambrano. Fede Varela, flick along, wanted Formella, won back by Yuma. the captain tonight for El Paso. Dolenmeyer pressured by Formella. On skiers, it's kind of that overlapping center back type role that we saw become very popular in the late 2010s with Sheffield United and Atalanta in Serie A, where they just kind of gung-ho it. They let guys just run out there and have fun. Fluid positioning.
My
Armando
favorite's
Moreno.
got to be Rudiger when he was at Chelsea for a couple of seasons under Thomas Tuchel as well.
Armando Moreno still on the ball, scoops the ball over the top, looking for the run of Mario Rodriguez, won by Pop Marboy. The two 20-year-olds collide in the defensive side, and Rodriguez comes together with Marboy. Out for a throw, last touched off Mario Rodriguez.
Looks a little
Throwing for
shaken up
Phoenix.
as well, Rodriguez. When you deal with Pop Marboy in a physical duel, that's usually the outcome for the other guy.
If you told me Pop Marboy was 20 and Mario Rodriguez were 20, I would not believe they were the same age. Mario Rodriguez appears to be about, on a good day, maybe 5'7".
Yeah.
Pop Marboy on a bad day is probably 6'1". And he is built like a 5-star safety on his way to Alabama. Rodriguez is built like a footballer. He's built like someone who's grown up in the streets playing soccer his whole career, and he's going to need treatment from the physio deep in the rising end.
He might have got a little knee to the back of his leg there from Pop Marboy. He just looks very shaken up, and Marboy going over to just say, hey, my bad. But, you know, when you're dealing in the physical parts of the pitch, dealing with tough center halves, that happens at times. And for the young kid, unfortunately, that's part of the game. Getting to the senior level is having to go against the guys that are extremely physical, very strong-bodied. We saw him try to deal with Zambrano earlier, Rodriguez, and he kind of shrugged him off of his shoulder as well. That kind of stuff's going to happen a lot for this kid growing up, but he'll grow into his own, grow into his body. He's only 20 years old. He's got plenty of time to develop as well. So they got a little water break going on now. But I've been impressed with the way that Rising have been able to kind of keep their head cool in this match. I've not loved the way that they've kind of allowed El Paso to come to them without putting pressure, like we talked about at the halftime break. But it's working in Rising's favor thus far. And El Paso have not been able to create any chances of their own in this second half of action, excuse me. Now 65 minutes in, some more subs coming on, and a big key for both teams at this point in the match.
Mario Rodriguez will be sacrificed in this one. He's replaced by Miles Lyons, who will come into a central midfield role, it would appear. A very versatile kid, Miles Lyons. Dennis on his chest, overhead kick to clear it. Couldn't find Formella, and a touch for Stauffer. Lucas Stauffer lifts the ball into the middle of the park. Zacharias, a poor touch off his knee and swept up by Dennis. Charlie on his left. Turns back and a touch for Torres. Back for Quaisho. Gabby Torres gliding on the left side. Renzo Zambrano and Emi Quaisho dropping deep. So we'll see if Miles Lyons can be the difference maker off the bench for Wilmer Cabrera's team. Over the top, a great ball towards Gabby Torres. Pivoting back and laying along for Fede Varela. Fancy feet from Fede, but he can't get out of Dolenmeyer's grasp. It's well defended by the Locomotive center back. El Paso back on the ball, 66th minute, 1-0. Far side, Zacharias sliding challenge from Quaisho. And it will be a throw-in for El Paso attacking third, but Emi Quaisho getting stuck in the attacker for Phoenix. He'll stay on the ground and recollect his socks.
Bit of a role reversal between him and Gabby Torres that time. Quaisho is the one that's back in with amongst the back four. He played the ball over the top to find Gabby Torres. Fede Varela just unable to sort his feet out quickly enough from the top of the box, and then a great tackle going the other way. But now Quaisho is a little bit shaken up. You know, you have those long strides in a sliding tackle this late in a match. It could really pull a muscle or lead to any sort of small injury or tightness. Hopefully he's okay, but the physios are checking on him right now.
Pop Marboy stretching out as well, his calves. Hot night. It was 108 at kickoff. Dry heat, but still, that can really get to you. Right now it's 99, so no triple digits. That's nice.
Feels like triple digits, apparently.
Feels like 100.
Yeah.
Stole my thunder on that. As for, let's go back. Streets are saying, you were talking about the physicality, the difference in how Rodriguez has to step up to that. Streets are saying our producer, Kevin Cardez, that's the only reason he didn't go pro.
It's because of physicality.
He just wasn't, big enough, tall enough, strong enough, fast enough.
You know what? I've seen him playing his 7-a-side league, though, Kevin Cardez, our producer. One of the best, one of the most talented players I've ever seen in a small pitch, small side. But you get him on the big field, and it's too much running.
Again, Myers, people talk about the new age athlete. That's not Kevin Cardez, nor is it Ryan Sikora, in fairness. It might be Ryan Myers. It's certainly Devin Henderson, friend of the program, and also part of this Rising Radio crew. We've got a great one. We're so glad to be with you tonight, as always, on X and Facebook, and now YouTube tonight, 88.7 for select games, and tonight Sirius XM, channel 157, Sirius XM FC, your home for radio coverage on XM Dial for soccer. Over the top it goes. Lucas Stauffer couldn't keep it in. That ball came clattering. I think that nailed our stick mic.
Did.
Down on the field. Well, speaking of producer Kevin, he's got to go down there and fix that, I guess. Another substitution, 2 for Phoenix. Edgardo Rito's going to come on for Gabby Torres. Jose Andres Hernandez readying as well. So Azakar, you'd presume, would shift over to the left side. Rito would play on his more preferred right.
Yeah, you already see Azakar shifting over that way already. He's going to be playing off that side. And then on this side, you're going to have Edgardo Rito, on the near side. He'll be going down the line. Him and JP Skirts could connect very well going forward. We saw what JP can do driving with the ball. Rito can definitely force the action as well on that right-hand side of the pitch. A lot of attacking quality on the field for Phoenix Rising right now. Every substitution they've made has been relatively quality going forward in the attacking zone of the pitch. But now we see Jose Andres Hernandez on the field as well, kind of solidifying the middle of the park as new boy Charlie Dennis heads out to the far left-hand side of the pitch.
Hernandez replaces Emi Quayshow, so Dennis will take up more of a number 10 role in replace of Quayshow and immediately gets involved in the action. Azakar to Dennis, that Oakland connection. Dennis back to Azakar in the box, squared across, back post. Rito! Denied by Jamali Waite. The old boys from Oakland surged forward. It went Dennis to Azakar, back to Dennis, back to Azakar. Rito was at the back post waiting. His first touch could have been a goal. Jamali Waite, the Jamaican international, keeps it at 1-0, 70th minute.
I want to talk about the build-up play so much, Ryan. Before that, I have to give credit to the man between the sticks, Jamal Waite, who just made an incredible save. It was almost a surefire goal. Myself and half the stadium had already seen the net bulge, but it wasn't to be. What a save that time by Jamal Waite, allowing this game to still be 1-0, but brilliant play by Phoenix Rising and new signing Charlie Dennis to create the opportunity going forward.
Boy, he just churned forward, Charlie Dennis did.
Like a freight train, that 6'2 frame, 180, but he moves quick, and he moves powerfully at time, forcing the action. Beautiful pass to Azakar, who played a brilliant ball across the 6-yard box where nobody could get it besides Edgardo Rito. Just wasn't meant to be. The sub almost had instant impact, though. Would have been his first touch of the game in the back of the net.
Rising steady possession after they won it back off the goal kick. Pop Marboy on the ball. Now Rocco Rios Novo, maybe 5 paces out of his own box. Rios Novo, he's wearing the black Champions kit. That's Rising's away shirt, by the way. He is wearing not a goalkeeper strip, not the blue, not the black goalkeeper, not the yellow goalkeeper kit, but a black and gold Champions kit with a number 1 on the back. That is a boss move if I have ever seen one.
I hope that was his own decision as well to wear that.
It had to have been. I think we talked about at the beginning of the season, the players loved that kit. That was their favorite kit. I think Rios Nova was chief among the believers, I guess, in the Champions black and gold shirt. So throw in for Phoenix. A reset is Elton Garcia is having a conversation with the Rising technical area. A yellow card has been administered. Seems like one of the assistant coaches, maybe Darnell King.
Looked like it also might have been a player that had stood up, somebody with the penny on a substitute who was kind of having a word with the referee. Not sure if anything was said or done on that Rising bench as well.
Might have been Patrick Rakowski.
Yeah.
at his sort of frame. Wyke through the air.
This is so exciting to see, though, Ryan, for Phoenix Rising, how instant impact Charlie Dennis has been through the opening 20 minutes of him being on the pitch for Phoenix Rising. If you're a fan of the club, you want to see your substitutes, your new signings come in and make huge impacts like that. And that's all Charlie Dennis has been through the opening 20 minutes of him being on the field. One of the best in red.
Signs of stuff to come, hopefully, for Phoenix. Charlie Dennis, a 2023 All-League selection, now patrolling the midfield in the Western Conference for the reigning champions. Sit 9th in the West. Over the top for Zacharias. One back by Dennis. That's two fine, neat touches from him in the center of the park, and Charlie will take 4 or 5 more as he drives into the attacking half. Lays along for Juan Carlos Azocar. Azocar outside the 18, cuts back onto his right. Azocar lays along. He had Formella, Darius Formella, in trouble, and he'll have to go backwards for Lawrence Wyke. 74 minutes gone. Phoenix still cling on to a 1-0 lead, courtesy of J.P. Skeers' first goal for Phoenix Rising. Marboy, center circle.
Ryan, that time I'm not sure why Formella wanted to come out wide instead of just staying in the box for a cross from Azocar.
There's a chance. Azocar, a shot that stings just wide of the near post. Wade had it covered, it appeared, but Azocar caught maybe 2-3 yards of space and had it go.
It's a good rip, smart shot, especially with the way the surface has been moving the ball in this game and been slippery. The right bounce, and the ball like that can always end up in the back of the net, fizzing for that bottom corner.
Yuma touching his own half. Switches play for Dolenmeyer. Stauffer. Slicing ball across from Calvillo. Right side now. Room for Zacharias. Center of the park, Coronado. Back out wide. Overlapping run for Miles Lyons. Well covered by Azocar. Wins a goal kick? No, corner kick. It went off Juan Carlos Azocar. It'll come from the far side. El Paso corner kick. Moon is sky high and full. Quarter of an hour to play from 38th and Washington.
And if you're El Paso, you're pretty okay with the way the second half has gone and your ability to defend thus far. Now only 15 minutes left to play. See if you can chip away and get a goal back.
Routine from the training ground once more. Playing back, lofting in, and Rios Novo high points it to make a catch. He goes to the ground, then gets back up, throws a beautifully pin-placed ball to the feet of Rito. Rito down the right, connecting with Dennis, who's been all over the place since coming on. Charlie Dennis. Dennis to zone 14, lays along Jose Andres Hernandez, who steps on the ball, turns backwards, and finds Charlie Dennis again. Dennis flipping play, right side to left side. Lawrence Wyke making a run, kept it in touch. Wyke towards the byline. Lawrence Wyke fizzes a ball across, and it's flushed away by Locomotive. A corner kick coming for Phoenix on the far side in front of the south end.
The way these center backs are playing, Ryan, the outside backs and their ability to get forward, drive forward, and create chances. That time it was Lawrence Wyke who made a run all the way to the byline to whip it across. Beautiful move by both of these players, all of the players that have been playing in that position this match, and taking the spaces that have been available to them.
Despite a lack of general output tonight, it feels and has felt proactive from Phoenix on this Friday evening. Zambrano to take, in-swinger, near post, flicked along. Jamali Wade at the near post. That looked like a flick onto the back post, but it instead went to the near, and Jamali Wade, like a cat, dove to his right and denied that one from going in. That might have been Skeers again.
Yeah, it was J.P. Skeers with those orange boots on. That time, sprinting to the near post. Beautiful save by Wade. He's had a couple of big ones to keep this game at what it is.
Zambrano, same drill, drives one into the 6, headed away from Noah Dolenmeyer. And cleared once more, and Phoenix will have a throw. Some more warm-ups being made. Rising have made 3 changes. El Paso, just 2. Rising with the ball. Hernandez, Dennis, who's been so good since coming on. What a wonderful sign for Phoenix's front office if that can continue. Dennis navigates traffic, lays along for Rito. Rito across, snuffed out by Dolenmeyer. Back with Rito, though, for Rising. Charlie Dennis on his left, and Renzo Zambrano. And back for Lawrence Wyke. Wyke switches play. Dennis again, who's been a magnet for the ball. First time pass, took a deflection, one back El Paso. Calvillo in the center of the park. Slides it on the ground. Lions. Stauffer. Left side to the center of the pitch again for Yuma Monsalves. Yuma. Calvillo, center circle. Zacharias, the center forward. He's taken off by Marboy. That's a foul, and it's whistled. So Pop commits it. El Paso play quickly, attacking half. Phoenix 1, Locomotive 0. 79th minute. Armando Moreno, the El Paso man who plays his country ball for El Salvador. Double-digit caps for La Selecta. Yuma, Calvillo, great passage of play to get Rivas going. Rivas switches play. Left side, Stauffer, touch on his right, edge of the 18. Lucas Stauffer, a shot! It skims away through the air, and it is still 1-0. It went wide, and Rios Novo would have had it covered, Ryan Myers.
Yeah, but for all of the time that Rising has led in this match and has played good ball, when you approach the 80th minute, in any match, and the score is just 1-0, the team that's down, the away side, feels they have a chance, and you can feel it maybe a little bit in the energy, in the crowd, in the style of play. El Paso knows that, hey, we've had a tough match. Rising have been the better of the two teams, but only being down a goal in this division, anything can happen with over 10 minutes to play plus stoppage time.
Anything can happen. That's correct. Phoenix 56% of the ball, El Paso 44. Good passage of play, Rising build from the back. Marboy to Varela, to Rito, back to Fede Varela, who's tripped to the ground. Taken right to floor, an arm came across his midriff, and that will be the first yellow card for an El Paso Locomotive player this evening. It may have been Miles Lyons. We'll wait for a official recognition on who picks out that caution for Wilmer Cabrera's men.
Nice little 1-2. Rito with a quick ball back to Varela, and then able to use his body to shield his small frame, but still low to the ground. Hard to get the ball off a player like that. Good job winning the free kick in another dangerous area. Rising, a team that have not been the best on set pieces this year, but today feels like their luck or their commentator's curse once again. We bring up the set pieces. It's gone in their favor this time.
I'll take that curse any week if you're a Rising fan. Charlie Dennis will stand over it. He's called off Zambrano. The left foot of Charlie, casting a shadow, number 12 in red, one arm to the sky, drifts the ball to the back post towards Marboy, back across the 18, not cleared yet, and now it is. El Paso shove it to the sky. Dennis wins the header, down for Hernandez and further back for Zambrano. Charlie Dennis, all-league selection with El Paso, 11 goals, 3 assists, 2023. He had the 6th most expected assists in the USL Championship when you combine 22 and 23 together. He's a player, and he's one that Phoenix made their marquee signing of the summer window just a few days ago. Wyke lifts it from left to right, driven across the top, touch for Rito at the byline. Rito into the box, one back El Paso, two-touch connection, turned away. Here it goes, Zacharias, Ricardo Zacharias, one-on-one with Renzo Zambrano. Zacharias, shoulder to shoulder, Zambrano won the ball. Renzo got it back, plays it forward, Fede, and back for Hernandez, and then Skeers. And Rising regained possession in the finest of defensive manners from their captain in the midfield, Renzo Zambrano.
Yeah, and that's what you love about having 4 true central midfielders, plus a number 10 in Fede Varela. The amount of physical control, the quality on the ball, and the ability to win it back and do well in tight spaces is paramount for this Phoenix Rising team right now. If you're El Paso, you almost can't get near the ball because of how much control all these Rising players have and the assuredness they all play with once they get on the ball themselves.
82nd minute, Phoenix 1, El Paso 0. Rising on the ball, forward for Azakar. On the byline he goes, takes a touch, turned the other way by Lyons, but still on the ball is Juan Carlos Azakar. Back for Lawrence Wyke. In trouble, Charlie Dennis, Wyke again, middle of the park, Zambrano, and back for Rios Novo. Phoenix would love that. Just a steady bit of possession as this game concludes. 8 to play plus stoppage on a night of turmoil, a week of turmoil, a couple of weeks of turmoil for Phoenix Rising. Winless in 4, a new manager on the interim basis, plenty of absences, a star man out of the picture. They lead 1-0. Rito gets the ball outside the box, squares along Hernandez, tries to go back for Rito. His touch was poor, and El Paso clear. Foot race, Zacharias, Marboy won it. It's been Pop Marboy at the center of everything good tonight defensively for Phoenix Rising.
They're allowing him to be on an island by himself with whatever El Paso attacker he's matched up against. In the first half, it was Moreno a lot of the time. We saw it was Mario Rodriguez for a little bit. And now we're seeing Ricardo Zacharias that he's matched up with one-on-one. Two strong, powerful players trying to battle it out for some certain one-on-ones, 50-50s. At time, our boy gets the best of him, and he's been on it all night.
2 more substitutions for Phoenix. Fede Varela, 84 minutes, his night done. It was not fantastic from Fede, but it was solid. Dortiotto, his replacement, the Italian, comes in. Hasn't played a ton over the last couple of weeks. 8 minutes against San Antonio last time out. And a debut for Damian Barker-John. Signed yesterday, Rising's new number 7. Kid from Queens, New York, 19 years old. He's on loan from Real Monarchs, the Real Salt Lake feeder in MLS Next Pro. Ball turns over the touchline after the throw-in. It's an El Paso throw. Barker-John comes in 11th best in expected goals plus assists per 90 in Next Pro. Only 10 better than him in the second of the 2 third divisions. They're level with League One on official U.S. Soccer Federation stature. 85 minutes gone. Rios Novo scoops up the ball. Rising have amassed all their substitutions. 2 debuts, Barker-John and Dennis. Dortiotto back in the fold. Julio, good touch off his chest, turns away, and that's Rising at their best when they can get it to Julio Dortiotto's feet and let him just turn away. So technical, the former Juventus man.
Now with all these new substitutes on, the amount of midfielders they have, guys that are naturally central midfielders on the pitch for Rising, is a lot. We're kind of seeing a new makeshift formation, the same style of the back 3 that we had since JP Sirius has dropped into the 3. The midfield pivot stays Rendo Zambrano along with Jose Andres Hernandez. Charlie Dennis picks up kind of this left wing fullback position that Emil Quasia was playing. And then next to him, Barker-John, the new boy, the substitute coming on as the Gabby Torres kind of left-sided withhold replacement as well. And then Dortiotto is up top alongside Formella. And then you still have Edgardo Rito on the right-hand side holding the width as well. A very interesting lineup right now for Gomez and this Rising squad.
Dennis checking in, switching play for Rito. 86-minute 1-0 Phoenix. You can't say Diego Gomez isn't trying new things. So many different looks today for Rising. Fita Formella dropping in, he is. The former Oakland Roots man, so many of those guys on the pitch. Back for Scarce. JP's got the winning goal that would get Rising out of this winless run. Dortiotto, half space, turns towards goal. Julio Dortiotto, a shot, rolls along the ground, comfortably into the waiting arms of Jamali Waite. El Paso on the ball with Stauffer. Skipping lines for Rivas. Header won by Marboy. Back for Formella. Darius in a good space. Switches play. Look at Pop Marboy up in the box. Pop Marboy! What a goal! It's the center back who surged forward. Fancy feet from the Senegalese. And Phoenix have doubled their lead in the 87th. 2-0 Rising.
For all we talk about the defensive prowess of Pop Marboy, go steal yourself that Man of the Match trophy, young man. The 20-year-old with a beautiful goal to put this game away. Won the header back, continued his run going forward. They always tell you when you win the ball back, continue your run. And then he does that well, gets back on the ball, and a brilliant piece of footwork to find space, goes to his right and blast one into the bottom corner. No chance for Waite, and the 20-year-old gets this goal that puts this game to bed. What a way to get your first goal of the season.
Samba sensation, Senegalese version. The center back steps forward and dodges everybody. A hand to his ear. I can hear you. This is the Phoenix Rising we know. This is the Phoenix Rising you come to expect to see. Pop Marboy with his first goal in Rising Red. 2 first-time strikes tonight have seen Phoenix take it to the bottom side in the Western Conference. Rising 2, Locomotive 0, a late substitution, a debut handed to Raul Vasquez, just a teenager, for El Paso. Pop Marboy pushed forward, just found a way. And we've got sprinklers on in the north end. Rocco Rios Novo is saying we have to wait. There are 4 sets of sprinklers spraying Rocco's backside right now. 2-0.
The pitchman saw Pop Marboy's excellent goal and got a little excited as well. Had to turn the sprinklers on for that one.
He thought it was the big 3, last bucket wins,
Literally.
or whatever it is.
Genuinely, what a goal by Pop Marboy. What a game he's had today, Ryan. We talk so much about him and his defensive abilities, his recovery base, his strength, his quality, and who knew the technical ability he had going forward. We haven't seen much of Pop Marboy in the 18-yard box. All the other center backs getting a chance to kind of go forward and create, but none more impressive than that time right there. Pop Marboy with a goal he's going to want to relive over and over again.
Pop Marboy is just 20 years old. He could play for 15 more years as a professional. I don't believe he will score a tidier goal than that. He might score a better goal, a screamer from long range, but the technical nous that took to drive your way forward, off the ball, continue your momentum, take 2 touches, turn your way away from a defender, and sneak one past Jamali Waite has been brilliant. You're listening to Phoenix Rising Football Club and Rising Radio on X, Facebook, and KVIT, Chandler, Mesa, Phoenix. That's 88.7 FM The Pulse, as well as Sirius XM Channel 157 tonight. They've been friendly to Phoenix this evening. 2-0 Rising. El Paso in the doldrums. 1-4-1 in their last 6, and looking likely to drop 3 more points on the road in what has just been a difficult season for the West Texas side. Middle of the park, Vasquez a couple of touches, and maybe that's the thing that they can hang their hat on. Some of the academy kids that have come through this year. Mario Rodriguez, and now Vasquez joining the fold. Formella, he picks up the ball, taken off of it by Dolenmeyer, but he won it back. There's a grab, there's advantage, and Formella down the right half space. Laid into the feet of Dorotioto. Rito down the right side. Just outside the 18, into the box for Formella. 2 dribbles, takes his way out of the 18. Zambrano, Hernandez, Charlie Dennis, Renzo Zambrano, rhythmic from Rising.
Beautiful play with all the midfielders on the pitch right now.
I believe we've just received 9 minutes of stoppage time, which would make sense. Plenty of injuries, the sprinkler stoppage. So we will play towards the 100-minute mark from 38th and Washington. 30 seconds beyond the 90. Hernandez a touch. Back it goes. Rito, Hernandez connecting with Dorotioto. Julio pirouettes, spins away from trouble. Maradona, and finds the feet of Formella. So fluid from Phoenix, cleared away from El Paso. All that coming in the 18. They couldn't get a shot off. Rito steps on the ball, toys with the defender. Rito tried to go through his legs. He did. Rito towards the 18 at the byline. Blocked away, still with Rito. Rising are really feeling themselves to close out this game. Zacharias comes charging through, and Phoenix have won a corner kick. Ryan Myers, Rising having some happy times.
Yeah, and this is the kind of energy and expressive play you want to see from them all the time. It's beautiful, and it's so fun to watch. You hear the crowd being purely entertained by this level of showmanship. You maybe are expecting not as much showboating throughout the course of a match, but this level of allowing yourself to be express and free and do the things that you know you can do and show your talents, it's beautiful. You love to see it if you're a Phoenix Rising fan.
Zambrano, a right-footed cross, will swing away from the goalkeeper to the near post, headed away by El Paso, but it took a touch off a Rising player? Yes, it did. Goal kick. Tough to ID on the far side from our vantage point here at Phoenix Rising Stadium.
Ryan, from our perspective and the perspective of the fans across the building as well, it feels as though a weight has been lifted off the shoulders of many people amongst Phoenix Rising as a club, from Diego Gomez in the technical area in the box to all the players on the pitch. It feels as though that second goal, knowing that you get this win, a win that they needed to get for the remainder of their season, kind of feels great for all the players on the pitch right now.
And so the question that I would pose to you, the question to come maybe for Phoenix Rising if this result holds, is can this last? Or is it just the immediate manager boost that we see so often, where a tick up in form always seems to come along when you change managers?
Yeah, that could be a very good point about that, Ryan, about how teams usually like to play a little bit better amongst that. But you see a beautiful play there from the new boy, Charlie Dennis, and you think maybe this could be sustained for a lot longer.
Wyke is roaming. He's laid along for Damian Barker. John, who's crossed in, it takes a deflection off the head. So that was Barker John's first touch in a Rising shirt. It was beautiful from Phoenix. They played center back to center back, found the feet of their goalkeeper, Rios Novo. Dennis dropped deeper, picked up the ball, turned his head, played it over the top.
Exactly, and that's why I think this is some of the play that could be sustained when you have a new man stepping on the pitch for the very first time in the championship red and gold and making passes like that, being involved like this. You wonder what the ceiling is for this Rising team, and who knows after what we saw last season from the current champions.
Outswinger, Charlie Dennis's left foot. Didn't even get to the near post before it was shoved away. Now for another corner, though. Rising will get a redo with Dennis getting a second go. Assist was given to Darius Formella on that goal from Marboy. So that's now 3 goal contributions in the last 3 for Darius. A goal and 2 assists. Dennis cross in, shoved away. Rising still have it. They've had plenty of the ball. 72% over the last 15 minutes of this game with a 1-0 lead, mind you. Talk about snuffing your opponent out, squeezing them to left, squeezing the life out of them. 95th minute, 2-0.
That's one thing Rising's done all season very well, and that's having a lot of the ball. No matter what time of the game it is, who the opponent tends to be, they'll keep the possession and they'll wear you down by having the ball for so much of the match.
This might be the one. It's a short-term view. But you're always taught at times to live in the present, feel good when it feels good. And right now it feels good for Phoenix. Hernandez, Formella tried to go back for Hernandez with a back heel. One back by Yuma, poor pass, and Hernandez slices through the side of Calvillo. That'll be a free kick, potentially a caution, but no. The card will stay in the pocket of the referee, Elton Garcia. Rising 2 away games coming up. It was important to feel out 3 points in this one. They have Hartford next week on the road on a Friday, and then Colorado Springs to start August. It's another foul. No, it was handled. So Zacharias, who checked in for Locomotive, struck his right arm, and Phoenix will have a free kick. On those 2 games, Ryan, again, 2 road games again in a row for Phoenix. We've seen that umpteen times this year. Hartford, they're having their fair share of struggles at the moment right now. 11th in the East on 17 points, so another one you would chalk down to a potential win. And Colorado Springs are currently 6th in the Western Conference. So a step up in opposition there, but a team that Phoenix has already beaten 1-0 this year. So potentially a fruitful run could be coming for Phoenix. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. Dorotioto chests it down, driving forward, took too many touches, a step over. He's taken off the ball, but he wins it back himself. Julio Dorotioto does well, lays along for Rito right side, and Rising gifted a throw. 97th minute, 2 minutes to play. Oh, what a relief it will be when those 3 whistles from Elton Garcia chime in. Winless in 4, Rising 2 goals today. Their last win, they scored 2 at home in a 2-1 win against Orange County. That was almost a month ago, actually over a month ago, June 8th. They drew El Paso 1-1 on June 15th, June 22nd, the championship rematch. They We're 0-0 with Charleston. Barker John into the feet of Formella in the box. Darius Formella's shot as Rising sprung forward quickly in the 98th. And lost 5-1 to Memphis. That was the game that saw Danny Stone depart. There was a banner in his honor today in the South End. The Banditos sprouting a thank you to the former skipper. Over the top El Paso and cleared away by Wyke. A throw in for Locomotive. And last week, the 2-1 loss, or 2 weeks ago, technically, with the bye week last week, the loss to San Antonio. Juan Aguadello with the penalty kick in the 81st to dash Phoenix's hope. Skeers, he's on the ball. He's got the winning goal tonight. A starter in midfield, and now deputizing as a center back this evening. He'll certainly lay claim to a potential Man of the Match award. His first goal in Rising Red for a man who went to Chaparral High School in Scottsdale. Rito on the ball for Phoenix. They want a third. Rito into the center of the park at the center circle. The right wingback is roaming forward. He's taken off of it by Yuma. 60 seconds to play. Ryan Myers. This will feel like a massive weight lifted for Phoenix.
It will, Ryan, and it should because of the way they've played recently. This is almost night and day from what we've seen the last couple of weeks from them. A team that looks so confident in their movement, obviously keeping the possession that we've seen them do all year long. But this game, there was a little bit more of a push to them, a little bit more urgency, a bit more desperation as well. And all that adding up to make the perfect storm that we've seen in this 2-0 win. Much deserved by the way they've played, and much deserved by the way in which they've forced their opponent to defend them all match long.
Rito, a wonderful back heel, finds Formella, keeps it in the corner, lays it back Hernandez, into the top of the box it goes. This is Zambrano, Dennis, Renzo Zambrano, touch on his right, turns out of trouble, scoops it forward. Jamali Waite will collect, probably 5 seconds left. Friday Night Fever, Phoenix Rising find 2 goals at home to turn El Paso Locomotive back. 1 whistle, 2 whistle, 3 whistles, and a $1 beer night dream to deliver Rising maybe back on the track that they need to be. 2-0 Phoenix on Friday, July 19th. El Paso succumbed to a 1-4-1 record in their last 6, and Rising get back in the winners column.
Yeah, well, this is the team they needed to beat. This is the 3 points they had to earn. A turbulent 2 weeks here in the Valley, but it's all led up to this, a positive match, a positive 3 points, propelling them back into the mix for being a top 8 side in the Western Conference. So much season left. They got to keep growing. They got to keep pushing, and a win like this will surely see them move a little bit more confident for their next 2 away games going forward to Hartford and then back over to Colorado Springs in August.
JP Skeers, an opening goal in the 43rd off a free kick service from Renzo Zambrano. And then in the 87th, Pop Marboy twinkle toesed his way to the top of the box, took 2 more touches after that, and slotted one beyond the stretching arms of Jamali Waite. Those are the 2 goals tonight for Phoenix. Rising now on 24 points in the Western Conference. That will, for the time being, see them rise back up to 8th, a 6-6-7 record. El Paso stay on 12. They've lost 3 in a row. They have not scored in the last 345 minutes of play. Struggles in West Texas. Rising rejoice, though, with 3 points to their name towards the end of June. We'll go to break. We'll come back. The Rising Radio postgame show is after this on 88.7 FM The Pulse, Phoenix Rising's X and Facebook pages.
This is a Chukwu's in. Ortega!
You're listening to Rising Radio, home of the 2023 USL champions.
Bliss and a burst of red smoke. Phoenix Rising, our home. Welcome to 38th in Washington.
Stick around for more as our broadcast continues.
The Supplemental Security Income Program provides monthly payments to help meet basic needs, like putting food on the table, paying the rent, or buying new shoes for growing feet. You may qualify if your income and financial resources are low, and you are 65 or older, or an adult or child with a disability or who is blind. Call 1-800-772-1213 or go to ssa.gov/SSI to start to apply. Produced by Social Security at U.S. taxpayer expense.
I'm Naheem Hines, proud supporter of the Muscular Dystrophy Association. My mom has muscular dystrophy, and the MDA helps her and kids like my buddy Ethan.
My name is Ethan, and I'm 12 years old. Thanks to the Muscular Dystrophy Association and people like you, I have more hope than ever before. And MDA funds over 150 care centers for kids like me.
For over 70 years, MDA has been transforming the lives of people living with muscular dystrophy, ALS, and related neuromuscular diseases. Learn more at mda.org today.
Many Americans have missed regular dental care in the past few years. It's important to see a dentist twice a year to identify any problems early. Taking care of your oral health helps overall health. Brushing at least twice a day with fluoride toothpaste and flossing daily can help prevent oral health problems. For more information, visit hrsa.gov/oral-health.
Those, my friends, are the sounds of the South End. Absolutely booming after a Friday night victory. A celebration, long time coming for Phoenix, who couldn't really put it together for a long, long time. But they get 2 goals tonight, and they would deserve to celebrate. Everybody lined up at the edge of the 18, bouncing hand in hand. The Banditos bombing red smoke to the sky. Ryan Sikora, Ryan Myers for the Rising Radio postgame show. JP Skiers, Hot Marboy, 2 unconventional names. They're on the score sheet tonight.
2 unconventional names, Ryan, but 2 names that deserved and earned the goals they scored. A hard-fought match for Phoenix Rising. Deserved of both of those 2 getting on the score sheet. Obviously, great passages of play to find the back of the net for each of them, but seeing them react with the fans post-game, seeing the smiles across the players, seeing the rejoice amongst the entirety of 38th Street in Washington. You can feel it from everywhere across the stadium, and a well-deserved win by Phoenix Rising, and they're showing the love for it despite having a turbulent last few weeks, an up-and-down season. This is exactly what you want to see from your club.
We'll have Darnell King, assistant coach, former skipper, in to chat with us in just a moment. He's taking in his breaths. He's taking in the walk around. Diego Gomez is now his boss, the interim manager for Phoenix Rising. His head's in the hat. He's got a chance to win this job. The front office, Brandon McCarthy, Bobby Dooley, have been very vocal about that. They want Diego Gomez to get a fair shake because they believe he's quality. And tonight we saw different stuff from Rising, different little tweaks, different macro tweaks, and in different portions of the game to make sure that El Paso didn't have any room in this game, not an inch.
Well, I love what I saw from Diego Gomez's style today, Ryan, because he allowed his playmakers to pick up the ball in positions in which they could go about creating options going forward. We saw the way Emi Quacial, Rendo Zambrano in the second half. It was the new man, Charlie Dennis, that was able to do it for them. But players who are so good technically can advance the ball forward, make something happen. And when you allow them to have the ball with time and space, you give them the freedom to go and push forward and get more players involved. It creates a holistic attack that is a little bit more direct, a little bit more potent, and that's exactly what we saw today. Every time Rising went forward, this wasn't the Rising we've seen from prior weeks where they've gone forward and looked good until the final third, but kind of had to pull back, looked unsure of themselves. For a majority of this match, Phoenix Rising looked like they were ready to go and attack the goal, looked excited and pushing, and had a lot of desire to go and attack and find the back of the net, and it worked out for them twice. More than enough to get the win today.
To the point of squeezing the life out of El Paso. Final 15 minutes of the game, 70% of the ball Rising had with a lead. That's when the team who's trailing tries to take you on and try and get back and claw a leveler. Didn't happen tonight. Phoenix with a professional performance. They get off the high. Their first win in 4 for El Paso. It's another game, another struggle. They've got to find a way. And Wilmer Cabrera, on paper, seems like he should be the guy. All the track record proves that he can punch above his weight. Had a chance to build a foundation of defensive success to maybe get them back above the playoff line. but defensive success is for naught if you can't score goals.
Yeah, and even though they've tried to build defensive success, it hasn't panned out that way. But Ryan, you're definitely right. They have to find the back of the net more often. That's now 3 matches in a row that they have not scored a match. El Paso Locomotive have not scored a single goal in over 270 minutes of action.
El Paso, 8 of their 19 games in the championship, they haven't scored. Only team with more, Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Darnell King is with us now in a second. He's man of the people, chatting with fans, talking to men, talking to small children who've grown up on this club that felt like this was the club that they wanted to be around. It hasn't been that way this year. We'll certainly talk to Darnell about the general vibe and that post-game celebration as well. Coach King, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So we talk about this. I want to start with this. That scene at the south end at the end of the game. Everybody hand in hand, top of the 18, in joint celebration with your boys, your Banditos.
Yeah, it just shows that we're a huge family here. No matter what the circumstance, no matter what the world is going through, we need to show our fans that we're here for them. And it just bring us all together in any way that we can. And we showed them by making them love the game again and love what we put on the pitch. And, that's what we did tonight. And that was a thing that we want to make organic and more often when we win games to go celebrate with the people who come to support us.
It felt like the club that many had come to know over the years that had gone away over the last couple of weeks. And that comes with the insertion of Diego Gomez, who's had time now to insert himself. What's changed over the last couple of weeks? Is it more a general vibe thing, or their training stuff? Has there been a major difference?
I think it's guys buying into something new. And like I've said in the past, I think when you come here, we bring good professionals, and I think they've had good attitudes going into the weeks that they've been enduring. And they're fighting for someone who's very passionate about the game, and he's pouring his heart out into his role that he's in, and he's doing a great job with the guys, and they're buying into it, and you obviously can see how it translates to the field.
Yeah, Coach, speaking of new guys, speaking of buying in, Charlie Dennis today came on in the second half, was a very good assertion into the team going forward and creating chances. What do you make of him and the new signings that you guys have made for the rest of the season going forward?
Yeah, all the players that came on tonight were very good. I mean, they came on and did their roles very well. Charlie was definitely getting us into that half, and when we got there, we were calm and collective and controlling the game in that half. So kudos to those guys that came here just on the last couple of days, and then all the players who came in off the bench. Everybody did their role and with good attitude, and that's the type of performance you see when that happens, when everybody's buying in.
And two first goals. A first professional goal for Pop Marboy, who somehow found himself way up there, and then JP Skiers off a set piece. That's something you guys have struggled with at times this year. We've talked post-game about that. Set pieces has been something you guys have tried to work on. JP gets a goal.
Yeah, these are two players that put their head down and work. They're very coachable, and they do their job to the best of their ability. And it looked like Pop was going back to his old 9 days when he was playing in, I guess, college or wherever he was playing the 9 at. And JP's a massive piece in the set pieces, so it was good to see both of them get the goal tonight, and obviously we get the win as well.
I'll tell you what, I'll do some digging for Pop, and if I can find any tape on him playing as the 9, I'll give it to you guys and see if you'll put him up there.
Yeah, I think he felt something. He started the play and ended it, so whatever, man. Yeah.
2 good touches to turn into a second goal, and an important home 3 points. Darnell, we thank you for your time tonight, and
appreciate you
go
guys.
Celebrate the win.
Thank you.
Hartford next week on the road on a Friday. That was Darnell King, assistant manager of Phoenix Rising. Mahir's going to come in with us in a second. We'll get his thoughts. He was a striker. I don't think he played as a striker in college. Maybe U16s in Senegal when he was playing with Mo Traore, but maybe that's something to investigate at a later press conference. Mahir, you were down, you felt it, you were up amongst it right behind the celebration postgame that we asked Darnell about. What was your take on the general feeling, the atmosphere that just kind of completely flipped, at least for a little while in the short-term postgame?
Biggest thing I saw is that Darnell was the guy leading that post-game huddle, and the first thing he said is, this is what we're talking about. This is how you bounce back from everything that's been going on with this club over the past few weeks. And I think the beautiful thing about it is the fact that he's going to go celebrate with the fans. He's leading the charge to tell the players, hey, these are the people that show up for us. They love us. They're here to support us. We should show them some respect and some love back.
I mean, just the adjustments that Diego Gomez made throughout that game to make sure they were on the front foot at all times. We've said the number now a couple times already in the postgame. 70% of the ball the final 15 minutes, Mahir. I don't know if you had that down there, but it felt like that too. that was not a scenario that we've seen from Rising, where they had a game in control, and instead of giving it back in the final 15 minutes, they just stepped on the gas.
It was kind of the opposite from what I was talking about in the first half, where I said both coaches are being passive. Well, Diego Gomez, and I think more importantly, the players stepped up, and they really held each other in check. You talk about Pop Marboy and his goal that really put this game on ice. One of the few times he was actually just trying to see the ball out, get it towards Rios Novo. Jose Andres Hernandez got up to his face and said, I'm telling you for the third time, you got to play that tight and you got to play forward. Yeah. He was calling for Marboy to really intensify his play, and we saw that in the second half on that goal. He just kept on going and going before he got a shot and eventually found it in the back of the net.
It's essentially keeping guys accountable on the pitch at all times.
Yeah, exactly. It's wanting guys to be able to show their abilities when you know they can. It's giving them the confidence to do what they know they can do and to play that aggressive style of ball that leads to success, something that Rising have kind of needed to do all year. We've kind of beat that horse all night tonight, but having to play forward, having to be aggressive is what we saw tonight. And Mahir, I want to ask you as well, the atmosphere down there, a lot of the fans really getting involved, really feeling passionate going into the end of this match, and a great win for Phoenix. How did it feel down there vibes-wise and the way that the fans were kind of reacting to everything going on the pitch?
I think the fans are really getting into it, Ryan, and I think after that first goal, you could sense they wanted a second from the way Rising was playing this game. I had a bunch of quotes going down, and some of them were a little bit angst when Rising decided to tuck the ball inside, decide to play in the midfield. A lot of them were just saying, hey, go forward, find that final pass, find that final shot to get it in the back of the net. There was definitely an intensity in the stands today, Ryan, and I think the biggest thing for this club is, and I think the question we had going into this was, are the fans going to show up? Are they going to make the noise? And they sure did tonight. They're still here.
And that has been the message, right, from the supporter section. Whatever their frustrations may be with some of that goings-on in the club, they will sit down, they will support the boys for 90 to 100 minutes every night, and that's what they did tonight, and they got rewarded for their support. Other games from around the championship that have been concluded this week: on Wednesday, Rhode Island were 3-1 winners on the road against Birmingham. Charleston 2-0 winners over Miami earlier today. A 1-1 draw between North Carolina and Detroit. Lou City 2-1 winners over Colorado Springs. Tomorrow, Orange County play and could jump Phoenix if they get a result at home against San Antonio. Last one, Charlie Dennis. Myers, you already talked about him here. Every time he picked up the ball, there was forward intention. Even when he had his back face to goal, he was dropping deep, just 2 pieces outside the 18. He had his shoulder turn, took a touch on his right, pivoted forward, and flipped the ball forward. There was an effort from him tonight.
There definitely was, and I think the bigger thing that I saw from Dennis is the fact that he started out in the right half space, moved it over towards the left half space, and you could just see for a moment there was kind of a formidable midfield between him, Renzo Zambrano, and Jose Andres Hernandez. Zambrano playing 6 and Hernandez playing 8. Dennis out there on the 10, this box-to-box guy that can really drive the pace going forward, and it was something that we were a little bit questionable about, right, with Fuenmayor coming off and Dennis coming in, but he was able to drive that pace, and I think he was having fun out there. From the way I saw it after that final whistle, he was all smiles. He was like, you know what, the vibes are high. He said that going into this game, and he definitely felt it after 90 minutes.
Mahir, we thank you for your work tonight, and Myers, I'll end with your closing thoughts.
Yeah, I think this was a match that had to be the way it ended up being. Now, Phoenix Rising certainly impressed all of us that are here right now in the way they played today, the style, the aggressiveness. But this definitely has to be the new norm going forward. This cannot be one of those times where they play great against a team that struggled all year long, and then they don't carry this over into next week. And next week is another game against a team that struggled a lot this season in Hartford Athletic. They play 11th, in the Eastern Conference. They have to continue to play like this, Phoenix Rising. They have to continue to grow into themselves under this new manager, Diego Gomez, and I think they will do that going forward. But my closing thoughts are definitely quality tonight, consistency going forward is what matters most.
A nice night, a $1 beer light delight. Phoenix Rising 2, El Paso Locomotive 0. For Ryan Myers, for Mahir Sinhasan, for our talented producer Kevin Cardez, who makes everything happen behind the scenes, I'm Ryan Sikora, saying goodnight on Phoenix Rising's X, Facebook, YouTube pages, as well as 88.7 FM The Pulse, and tonight, Sirius XM Channel 150. 57. Phoenix 2, El Paso 0. Rising, Hartford up next. Locomotive at home against New Mexico. We'll see you next Friday on the road in Connecticut.
This has been a presentation of Phoenix Rising Football Club and Rising Radio. You're listening to 88.7 The Pulse.
Suzuku's in.
You're listening to Rising Radio, home of the 2023 USL champions.
Bliss and a burst of red smoke. Phoenix Rising, our home. Welcome to 38th and Washington.
Stick around for more as our broadcast continues.